Alright, welcome to D&D Tyranny of Dragons, Session 47, Xonthal's Tower. And we are ready to go.
Neat.
Alright,
let me get my notes set up here. Alright. So, for those of you following at home, Ruckus will be joining us shortly. He is a little bit late, picking up cool toys that he's not going to share with the group. I'm sad about it. Alright, so last session, you found yourself still within the city of Waterdeep. You knew that there was going to be another session of the Council of Waterdeep that you needed to attend to report on different things, especially following up with the Council of the Metallic Dragons. After setting off from your guild hall, you found yourself within the council chambers that you'd been to a couple times previous. As the council started in its normal way, with Laeral Silverhand starting it off. She began to recount different things that had been happening, speaking of more dragon attacks happening across the Sword Coast, and that the council itself didn't really have any counterforces to stop this, at least not yet. And conversation drifted to the Council of Metallic Dragons, as it seemed that none of the concessions that you had made, although they did seem to be known by few, had not been formally brought up. The first one being that King Melandrach was going to have to make an apology for the Draco Rage Mythal, for what his people carried out against all of Dragonkind a long time ago, centuries and centuries ago. Something that he was alive for, but no one else seemed to have been. He was quite furious, and already seeming to be in a very bad mood upon the realization that Nerovane, who you had slain within the Misty Forest, who was attacking said Misty Forest, turned out to be his son. One that had been banished many years ago, but seemed to have held a strong grudge against his father and his people that had forsaken him. King Melandrach did agree to make this apology, write it in his own hand with his own signature, because honor demanded it. He had signed his will along with the group, much as everyone else had done, but it was not something he was happy about. Conversation then drew to one Conrad Braunanvil, as he was the representative of the Mithril Hall. The same Mithril Hall had a set of armor that had been made from a silver dragon scales. The silver dragon, before it was slain, was a friend of the representative of the Metallic Dragons, Elia, who had taken you to the council. She demanded that it be returned. Conrad was not happy about this. He even tried to ask why this was such a thing, if the Metallic Dragons were misbehaving and being punished for that. But ultimately, much like King Melandrach, honor drove him to carry out the concession, as he did give his word that he would do anything that he was told to do by you all adventurers. Yes, by the scales. Sorry, excuse me, my throat. More topic went on to another somewhat heavy topic of the hoard that the cult had stolen from the Sword Coast. It had been already decided that the different factions within the Council of Waterdeep would be taking a portion to return to their own civilizations and such, but the dragons also demanded their own share. There was an option that if more of the portions were divided out to these dragons, who were somewhat working independently of each other with the different colorations of the metallic dragons, if more was given, then it would obviously be better off and more willing to serve, offering more forces, but he ultimately decided that the metallic dragons would be counted as one faction and get one piece of this hoard. One final result of this Metallic Dragon Council was brought to light, as it seemed the dragons were willing to help protect the Sword Coast in the meantime, while waiting for the council to finally gather their forces to assault the cult at the Well of Dragons. For the time being, you agreed to have them sent off to many different areas. The city of Elturel under the Order of the Gauntlet. Several territories would be guarded, including Waterdeep and Daggerford and such, for members of the Lord's Alliance. The Emerald Enclave asked that a dragon be sent to guard the ancient treant known as the Grandfather Tree. It was a very important entity to them. And many other regions would be protected by these dragons, as a single dragon can protect a large swath of land, at least a 100-mile radius from where it was assigned. So you figured that would maybe counter a bit the dragon attacks that have been happening from the Cult of the Dragon by these chromatic dragons under their employ. And with that, conversation moved briefly to Nerovane being slain, and some thankfulness from that, though definitely not from King Melindrach. You notice that, or rather, you did notice at one point that there was a new face at this council. There was a tiefling, which was a bit of an odd sight within this council, but she did not speak and did not really seem to have a voice in the council, but seemed to be an advisor to Lord Neverember at the table. New business was brought up, and there was apparently a recent news of a possible stolen dragon mask, one that could be proffered and given to the council. A defector of the cult wanted to trade his life. Basically, if he was saved, he would deliver the prize of prizes, the blue dragon mask. He swore that without it, Severin would face an insurmountable setback in his effort to call Tiamat back to the world. But this man, named Iskander, needed to be saved. He said that he was currently in a location called Xonthal's Tower, that you all eventually found out was an ancient wizard tower that was quite infamous for its elusive hedge maze that surrounded it, making it very difficult to get to the tower itself. You even heard that the great wizard Elminster had difficulty with this maze. And with that news in, you learned a bit of information that you were employed to go seek out this tower. The reasoning behind it, instead of sending an army, a small force would be able to get close and try to rescue this Iskander without drawing the attention of the rest of the cult, versus them sending a large force to assault the tower. So preparations were made. You said you would be visited and given more information at a later time of how you would reach this place that you knew lied far to the east from you, several hundred miles. With that, the council session ended. Your old friends, ones that you've been friends for some time now, greeted and talked to you and such, but then you all went your separate ways. The rest of you went out before and after the council meeting to explore through the town, settle debts, talk to old faces, and meet some new ones. But getting supplies for your next adventure, which after the council session definitely seemed to be going to this tower. As you went back to the guild hall for the evening, you saw that your new friend that you had made, this Joe Gath. Yeah, Joe Gath. I need to write his Joe on everything. Who seemed to be an admirer, but also a skilled artisan, as he inscribed within the guild hall this somewhat exquisite symbol that represented you all as the Scales. After all of you agreeing to it, he had gone through the tavern under Stone Skull's tutelage, I guess, or his direction, if nothing else, to put it in different areas and such. And you all met this man, and he seemed forthright, not quite a fanboy, but definitely a fan of yours for what you were doing for the people of the world. And you decided that he could use a different job, and you employed him as your manager for this guild hall to take care of it while you were away. Joe Gath leapt on the opportunity to do so and seemed to be preparing all through the day after even making you breakfast the morning of the council session. He was absent the evening after you returned. You assumed either heading back to his own home and such. It had only been a day since he was employed after all. But as you were sitting around having a few drinks and such, you heard a knock on the door. And as Brogar went to investigate who was knocking on the side door of the guild hall, you found a familiar face. A tiefling named Maccath the Crimson, and a member of the Arcane Brotherhood that you had saved up in the Sea of Moving Ice. She strode into the guild hall, greeting all of you in turn, and said that she would be your guide to make your way towards Xonthal's tower. She said that there was a teleportation circle that could be used to get you close, not quite there, but very close, within a day's ride of Xonthal's tower. The teleportation circle would take you to a town called Lork. Once you arrived there, you would only need to travel south for a day, and you would arrive at the village that was outside the tower, the village also named Xonthal's Tower. So with that, Maccath told you that, despite your eagerness, she would not be leaving that evening, instead to meet her at the morning at the Palace of Waterdeep, and you would be directed where to go from there. With that, she bid you farewell and a good night, and set back off into Waterdeep. So with that, you found yourselves going to bed for the evening, waking up the next morning and preparing yourselves for another adventure. That is where we're going to start you for today.
So, we head to a place that we're sure is a trap, known as Fooled Elminster, all in an effort to grab a mask.
Sounds like a beautiful plan. That's what we normally do, isn't it?
Yeah, hasn't nothing this foolish has stopped us yet. And it sounds like their friends
Xonthal ever the
coming along
optimist.
as well. This time, for the first real time, we get to take the fight to them.
True.
Let's make this something that they remember. Do we need to grab anything else? Or is everyone prepared?
Tara's gonna resummon Mr. Pebbles and also nod. But, yeah. Probably not towards Max.
Right, kind of near me. Like you're looking a foot to my left. We're good. Okay. Good talk.
No, he's gonna finish eating sausage and stuffing her face just in the nick of time.
Okay. Rogar, as per usual, just grunts in affirmation that he is ready to go. All right.
Let's go to the council chambers.
So as you make your way across Waterdeep, heading down to the southwest to, the Palace of Waterdeep. The city is lively as ever, even though it's fairly early in the morning, rather. Only an hour or two after sunrise. The streets are already bustling with merchants, carts, tourists, everything you could think of all around you. You push your way through the city, and finally, after about 30 minutes of walking, you're able to make your way down to the palace itself. As you move up, you see the now customary guard being pretty strong around the palace, keeping the open courtyard in front of it very clear of people. You make your way down to it. There we go. As you round around the side where you've gone in several times over kind of on the southern side of the palace itself, You see two guards standing there, and as you approach, they hail you, motioning for you to follow, not even waiting for you to state your business. It seems that they were prepared for you this time. As you follow on, you see them kind of eyeing the bear that follows along, but don't give it much more than a cursory glance, instead letting everyone move through the somewhat cramped halls for stone skull and the bear, but able to do so with only mild discomfort going through the normal people-sized hallways and doorways and such of this palace. After a few minutes, you find yourself going a different direction than you have before. Instead of going up flights of stairs and into a more noble-esque look about the palace, you seem to be going down and sinking down into lower levels of this place, down below the ground. You notice that the stonework around you stays very formal, very worked and such, but gets more dark and kind of dank as time goes on, instead of getting more fine and more befitting of a palace. As you reach down another flight of stairs, you see the guard moving forward and kind of motions for you to step through a large archway next to him. As he does so, you walk through it and you see glimmering on the floor are several arcane glyphs and huge circles. Some of them shining actively, other ones seem to be somewhat dormant on the ground. Standing above one that is shining around the just outer edges of it, you see the red tiefling that you know as Maccath. She is holding her fingers outstretched above this teleportation circle, her eyes closed in focus, and then she kind of nods to herself with a bit of self-satisfaction and then turns around to look at you all. That her voice rings out and kind of echoes through this large chamber having all these teleportation circles in it. And she says, "Well, it seems you're all prepared. I think that this circle here will be large enough to accommodate all of you." And as she motions at it, you see that this circle is larger than any circle you've seen before. It's a good 30 feet across in diameter. More than large enough to carry all of you, including the bear, and even more, honestly. But she looks back and kind of nods at all of you and says, "I picked out and prepared this one just in case, but it seems like it was unnecessary. You didn't pack too heavily, at least."
And we're used to traveling light.
That she nods, says, "Yes, it should only be a day's time of actual travel for you. It'll only take a few moments to get you to the city, or the village, rather, that we spoke of yesterday. The village of Lork, sorry. It's down so I
Yeah.
can remember.
We, so you said it's about a day's travel to the tower from Lork?
With that, she nods, says, "Yes, there's a common road that leads down into the Grey Peak Mountains. Xonthar's tower, both the village and the tower itself, by the same name, lie just on the edge of the mountains themselves, just south of a split in the river there. It's very hard to miss as long as you stay on the road."
Well, then, let's be on with it.
That she kind of glances around the group, says, "Well, if everyone's ready, then the circle is prepared. Just stand upon it, and I will take you where you need to go."
Yeah, guess I'll go through first. Bring the bear behind me as I'm walking onto it. Is this a kind of teleportation circle where you only have like 6 or 7 seconds to get through?
No, it's gonna be like everybody gathers onto it, and then all of you are teleported at the
Okay,
same time.
gotcha. Okay, so yeah,
Who had the sending stone?
yeah.
I think Ignalia got it at the end.
Think so.
That's me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just double checking that we have it, and I'll just kind of usher everybody onto the circle. Be the last one there.
Okay.
Turn
All
around
right.
and just, give Maccath a nod. And just like shrugging my shoulders, like, "Here we go."
All right. So as you all gather up onto this circle, you see Maccath moving up in front of you all, kind of steadying towards the edge, but still within this outer ring that's shimmering with this almost silver light out of the ground off these glyphs. With that, she looks by and says, "Okay, everybody ready? There may be some discomforts, and you might die, but it'll be fine, I think." She turns around, then turns and back around at all of you and says, "Just kidding." Then you see her bowing her head and begins chanting, and as she does so, the runes all around you, kind of in this ever-going circle, kind of closing in towards the center, begin to light up with silver light. As it gets close and even closer to the middle of the circle itself, all of these runes lighting up after each other, you start to feel and hear a hum of power around you. And as it reaches a kind of fever pitch, starting to deafen against your ears, you see the white light flashing up, blinding you for a few moments. And as the light clears, you look around and see that you're no longer in a dark chamber. You're standing in a grove, and it's cold.
That wasn't very reassuring.
Oh, didn't say anything about the cold. I like start, covering myself up, throwing the hood over my head.
As you're doing so, it's not sea of moving ice cold, but it's brisk compared to Waterdeep.
Still doesn't notice.
Start kind of scanning the surroundings. Where am I? What are we standing on?
As you say that, she turns around and kind of motions out to the grove around you. Says, "I think this was an ancient elven ground, if I remember correctly. I think that's what the note said. It was used some time ago, and she kind of motions to her feet, and you see in the ground there's stones that are forming into these glyphs that seem to be very similar to the ones. Differences here and there for those of you astute enough to actually look at them. You see that the stones themselves aren't really like arranged on top of the ground, but seem to have been melded with the ground itself." She motions to this other teleportation circle. She says, "I think this was made some time ago, a few centuries maybe. But yes, it exists here. Lork is, a couple of miles to the south of here, and then from there you'll be able to find the road that leads even further south to Xonthal's tower." With that, she kind of thinks for a moment. "Oh yes, whoever has the sending stone, once again, whenever you're ready to return, you'll just need to come back here. There are no closer teleportation circles that I know of, at least, that can be used for this travel. So when you return here, simply message me, and I will be doing my best to enjoy myself within the palace. It may be quite hard, given all the royalty and books and fine cuisine there, but I think I'll manage somehow."
Whatever shall you do, Maccath. We wish you the best.
That she smiles at you all. Yeah, nodding towards you all and says, "Of course, I do hope you, or wish you good luck on your adventure. I would be very displeased to see you harmed, so take care of yourselves."
Don't worry about that. This won't be the last you see of us.
That she nods as well. "Very well," and kind of ushers all of you off of the teleportation circle. With that, she gives you all a final wave and a mention of good luck, and then you see the runes once again glowing around her as she begins to chant, and then in a flash of bright white light vanishes. You see, as the white light simmers back down and makes you where you're able to see, you see just wisps of what appear to be smoke and such edging out from the runic rocks all around, but Maccath is nowhere to be seen, seeming to have teleported back to Waterdeep.
What if we don't see her again?
Well,
we still have the sending stone.
I mean, Tara's never gonna see her again.
Oh my god. Tara's never gonna see me again.
Oh man, poor Tara.
I'm eating pizza, so I'll let all this slide.
Stuff in your face.
All right.
Yeah, so I'll start, orienting myself to the south, using the sky and seeing the road and start making my way. We'll start making our way.
Downtown?
Yeah.
Walking
Downtown.
fast. Alright. So with that, you start heading to the south. You're able to find, after a few minutes, what appears to be a something a little bit wider than a game path. Seems to have been well traveled, though maybe not recently. With that, you walk for about 30 minutes or so, traveling a good ways through this forest that kind of opens up, and you start to see hilly crags all around you. You start to look even further out and some miles away, but almost in every direction except for off to the northwest rather. You see high mountains, but obviously the Grey Peak mountain range that goes through here, off in the distance with snow-covered peaks and such all around you. You feel like after walking a bit, breath comes a little bit more labored, not to the point where it's, unable to travel and do things, but you definitely notice that the elevation has changed much since you were down in Waterdeep, which sits closer to sea level than this area does, obviously. But with that, after traveling about 30 minutes, you see what appears to be a small village up ahead.
Sorry.
You see the village has a somewhat large, about 12 to 15 foot wall around it made of pointed lumber with it carved to a point at the top of it. It's not huge, smaller than Greenest was, to give you perspective onto it. But you recognize this as probably the village of Lork.
We don't know what waits us here. If this is a trap, it could be sprung at any moment. So keep your eyes open.
We could have Ignalia just burn the town down if you want.
We can't. As practical as it sounds, these people might be innocent as well.
Do you want me to pull out the flag?
No. No, at this point, I don't. If they think we're coming, they'll be expecting us. We don't exactly, motioning to the bear too. We don't exactly blend in.
They've sent people to kill us how many times? I think they know what we look like.
Yeah. They seem to find us in the middle of nowhere. My thought is, they know we're coming, so we can at least be prepared too.
Stone Skull will...
Oh. All of you, you're gonna drink this wonderful tea that I'm gonna brew for you right now.
It's not wonderful.
You are all gonna drink this awful liquor.
It's not
so that we
suspicious
have
at all.
poison resistant.
A wagon looks over at the town and then just stops and makes tea. What are we, British?
Yes.
Stone Skull will refill his mug and then pour the tea into the mug.
Just mix some Guinness with it.
That way it kind of loses some of that yuckiness of the tea.
Spoonful of sugar, completely different meaning.
Narrator
Full
voice.
of liquor?
It didn't.
It somehow made it worse. Alright.
But yeah, make the tea. Ignalia just does a shot, grimaces, hands it around.
Yeah, just plugging my dragonborn nose.
Just like grabbing a handful of nostril or of snout.
I was thinking
So.
just index finger and like pinky finger, just plug them up, and tip that thing back.
Alright. So everybody getting poison resistance for how long? I don't remember.
I don't even...
The day.
I should just tell Ignalia no. But it's fine.
I even have an item for that.
I have resistance to poison. So
I'm gonna take to the sky.
yeah, Stone Skull's going to get on, saddle up on Bear Friend and kind of lead the pack into town.
Alright. Alright. theater of the mind here, but you start making your way towards Lork. It seems rather unextraordinary. You do see the village gates are open. You see there seems to be kind of a main thoroughfare winding a bit through it. Mostly log cabins and housing and such through it. The people seem hardy enough, even for being kind of this somewhat desolate area here in the rocky crags of the Great Peak Mountains. But they all kind of nod to you as you're entering in, not seeming to be strangers to adventurers venturing through this path. You see a few mundane places, a general store for basic items and such, but otherwise just seems to be one tavern and inn, and that's about it here in this place. As this main thoroughfare continues on with you walking through it, within a few moments you can already see the other side of the town, this other wall rising up with the open gates. Beyond it you see a long road stretching out and heading off to the south.
Yeah, let's let's keep moving through town. Yeah, these people don't have any reason for us to bother them or trouble them.
We got a job to do and time's of the essence.
Max flying, Stone Skull riding a bear. I imagine Tara riding Mr. Pebbles.
I just climb on his seat's back and make him carry me.
I want to stay like 100, 150 feet in the air. Really get a good eye for everything.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me look at one more thing. Let's roll for it. Okay. Alright, so as you travel back on the road where you're very accustomed to this point of being, you find yourself traveling to the south. The air is still frigid with a cold wind blowing down from the peaks every once in a while, but otherwise it's quite nice outside. You see forest animals of all kinds kind of in the dotting bits of brush around you. Seeing this river beginning to creep up off to your southwest, you start following it along with this road that's leading to the south. As you go through the day, it's a somewhat boring walk. Not really running into anything, seeing anything bigger than a squirrel, aside from your compatriots here as you travel to the south. After several hours, you find that the sky is beginning to darken a bit above you as night is starting to approach. And off in the distance, you see what appears to be a small valley kind of sinking down a bit. And as you look down onto it, Max seeing this a bit sooner than the rest of you, you see what appears to be another village. This village is different, though, as you see these other hills that it's kind of built on the side of, these rocky crags. But up against the side of this village, almost buttressed up next to a few of the houses, you see what appears to be this large circular hedge mage. Max, as you're looking at it from the air, getting a bit closer as you all start moving down, seeing this village and heading towards it, you see that this hedge mage looks overrun with growth and haphazard with what used to probably be trails through it, but now it's hard to tell if there's anything through the brush. As you continue further down, what you see.
Ooh.
Oh, dang it. There we go. So as you get closer, as the music gets super epic all of a sudden, it's not... Of course, yeah. You see what appears to be a small town, and like I said, this tower within the hedge mage. You seem to have found not only the Xonthal's tower itself, with this infamous hedge mage surrounding it, but also the village of Xonthal's tower on the outskirts of it.
That's pretty dope.
Kind of cool. Steve agrees. Maze,
Okay.
M-A-Z-E. Yeah, hedge maze.
Okay.
No, it's a
Just
hedge
wanted-
mage.
Yeah. I was like,
Gonna
wait,
cast,
I'm confused. Wait, hold on. Because that...
Going to cast Minotaur on you, and you're going to be running through this maze for the next 3 sessions. Have fun.
Yay!
Alright, so as you get closer, Max kind of moving down, I'd imagine, getting closer to the group, you're able to see a few features about the village. The village is very plain. No wall surrounds it and such. You see there's dottings of forest on the edges of it. On the other side, obviously surrounded or cut off by this large hedge mage surrounding this tower that seems to be made of worked stone. As you all start moving into the town itself, you see people moving back and forth, seeing you, not really saying one thing or another. They seem friendly enough, but wary at the same time, just because you are strangers to this very small village. You see a small tavern within the village itself. I have a name for her, so let me make sure I have. See that it is called Xonthar's Dog's Inn. It's an inn and tavern here. As you're moving down towards the south, closer to the hedge mage, we'll say that Max has landed. You notice something different compared to what Max described as he was flying above it. As you're looking towards it, you see there's what appears to be a large gate risen up a bit. Not very tall, not to be menacing, but obviously well enough to keep maybe children out or people that don't know any better from the entrance to this maze off to your south. As you're looking at the hedge from here, though, you see that it appears to be well trimmed, well groomed. The hedges themselves are bright with luscious green leaves and such. It looks like a normal hedge before you, unlike what Max saw from above, where it looks decrepit and untended and such. What do you want to do?
Want to take flight again and go back up? Does it look the same in the air now? Like,
as you fly back above the maze, you see that once again the maze appears to be this overgrown, tangled mess with no discernible paths longer than maybe a dozen yards. It looks like a hedge mage that's been untended for forever, for more than a century at least, growing into this nearly kind of solid mass of hedge and thorns and such below you.
I want to make a quick flyover, like, not very far into the hedge maze, but kind of peek down, I was scanning specifically for like a discernible path.
Okay. Make a perception check. Okay. As you fly over, kind of sticking closer to the village itself, you fly over and you see from the air, you see some pathways going off from what looked like it could have been the entrance from some time, though it looks completely different than what you saw when you were standing in the village. It goes off for a few feet and you see overgrown tangles of thorns and such. As you look different directions, you can't seem to find any kind of path actually leading through this maze.
All right. I will. I'm gonna go relay that to the rest of the guy. I've taken a bird's eye view and I don't see a way through this maze. It seems as if flight, we could go over the top of it, but that doesn't help all of us.
Well, can't we ferry people one at a time?
I have a bear friend.
No, that's true.
I could attempt to just knock down the walls. Just make a path for the bear.
That seems like a good idea. I would imagine that would have been done had it been possible to this point.
And even as you're all discussing amongst yourselves, now back on the ground, you're looking towards the entrance, and you see that This doesn't appear to be a maze or anything. It seems to be this kind of hedge ring garden with no resemblance to a maze at all from your current perspective.
Well, the tower's on the other side. Agnali, you and I want to take one apiece. You want to leave Bear Friend here, Stone Skull?
I can only, maintain flight for a short period of time.
I can take everybody over.
Look, hear me out.
So,
I can use a catapult spell. Throw the bear over there.
You're not throwing Bear Friend over the maze.
Hear me
the
out.
catapult is 5 pounds, dude.
So you're not a higher up cast for more weight? That's dumb.
It's only 5 more pounds per level. Bear's weighing more than 45 pounds, and you ain't got 9 left.
Not if somebody enlarges, reduces him. Just saying.
To a large-sized beast?
To
How
a
much does
small
a
one.
bear weigh?
Do it.
How much does the bear weigh?
It's a pretty big bear. I mean, it's like the equivalent of a grizzly, so adult-sized
Couple
grizzly weighs
thousand.
upwards of 600 pounds.
Is it
Well,
1,000?
still
Nothing.
Oh, that's a
No,
grizzly.
it's-
Sorry, that's a huge bear. So that's gonna be like a
I was,
bigger bear than
I was gonna
grizzly.
say, I thought I read somewhere that like a cave bear is like 1,500 pounds or something.
Oh, 2,200 pounds.
Oh,
There we go.
Goodness. Never mind.
Google tells me the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need like 5 9th level catapults going up at once to huck that thing.
And that's with a bear that's compliant
And reduced.
Well,
and
the next,
reduced.
the next question, do we inquire with the villagers? They've got a way? Or know of a way?
I mean, they live here, right?
Stands to reason.
But do they ever go to the tower?
Well, some of them should. I mean, hopefully one of them would know. If not, then it looks like Bear Friend will stay behind.
Maybe they treat it
Unless-
like a tourist trap.
I'm not leaving Bear Friend behind.
Well, unless you can come up with a clever solution on how we can fly him over there.
I'm not coming up with a clever solution. We're going to walk through the maze.
Well, then let's not even ask them. I mean, lead the way.
You don't understand. I have been without Bear Friend for
Yeah.
quite
Well,
some
this
time.
isn't-
It's
This
not
isn't me
going to
being
be.
argumentative. This is me telling you, let's go. Well, I mean, if we're gonna go through it, let's hop on and just go through it. See what the thing's got for us. I'm not afraid.
Okay.
Let's get to this
Yeah.
tower. I'll maintain flight. Try and guide us where I can from up above. Be ready to tear down what we can. Let's get there. Let's not spend any more time in here as absolutely necessary.
So, what's your plan exactly?
Sounds like I'm gonna fly up above the group, and they're going to enter into the hedge maze and try and
Okay.
guide us to the center.
All right. Okay. So as Max begins flying up in the air, Max, as you're looking down at the group, you look back over the maze, and as you're flying up, you can see the entrance where it looked like this kind of hedge garden more than a hedge mage entrance. As you fly up, you see it morphing a bit in your eyes, and you blink a few times, and then you see nothing but this overgrown mess of a maze before you once again. As you start to fly forward, everyone else begins to walk into the maze. You turn around, seeing them seeming to walk into this maze, and then everyone disappears from your sight.
I'm gonna go fly like down slowly to where they were, where I assume they would be inside the maze.
As you do so, you see gnarled roots and thorns and branches and all of these overgrown hedges and such below you. But even though you're flying just above the canopy of it, you don't see your friends.
Yeah, I want to keep going down, like to the ground, until I see him, or if I see him. What's what?
As you fly down, everyone else starts walking. You see that the hedge all around you looks tended and tidy and such. You start walking, and it starts to kind of softly bend, where you can see about 15 feet ahead of you or so as it bends, and then the natural curvature of this this garden hedge makes it where you can't see around it. You keep walking for about a minute or so, and you see an opening as it begins to kind of straighten out ahead of you, and you move forward. You suddenly see, out of nowhere before you, this gold dragonborn appearing and landing with a heavy thud onto his feet, as you see Maximilian appearing out of thin air before you.
And kind of glance around and say, well, it looks like we're going to be here by ourselves.
As you
There's an...
start to
Oh,
look around...
I'm just going to explain everybody. I can't give any aerial visuals. There's an enchantment that's preventing me from seeing things as they really are.
As you're looking around your surroundings, you see that this opening that you stumbled into has several different exits from it. You've entered an intersection where 8 paths converge symmetrically. You can see Xonthal's tower dead ahead of you above the hedge wall, but the way the paths curve, there's no telling which one might lead to it. A sundial sits in the center of this intersection, the shadow from its gnomon pointing straight towards the tower, which is highly odd because this sun isn't behind you. Your shadows point in the proper direction, only the sundial shadow points ahead.
Well, does anyone else take that as a sign?
I do, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm making of it.
Here's a sign. What's it say?
It's a shadow. It's a sundial, but the shadow to the sundial's not where the sun's pointing it, or where it should be. Do we follow the shadow then?
We have no other clues. Why not?
Until we learn more. Seems like a solid course of action.
As we're walking by the sundial, does Stone Skull see any text written on the dial itself? Or any carvings, etchings, drawings, anything?
You see this sundial seems to have some gold inlaid to it, with the shadow kind of clearly stretching off towards the tower up ahead of you. But as you're looking around, you see no writing, no glyphs, nothing of the sort there, no etchings, no discernible marks, really. It almost seems odd how little specific detail you're able to observe.
When we... hold on. Okay. When we walk by the sundial, does the shadow move? The shadow of the sundial move? It stays where it's going? Okay.
Yep, stays where it is.
Okay. Then, yeah. Straight north, then.
Everybody following along?
Yep.
what's up, Steve?
Okay. As you all start walking, you see the path being very similar to the one you just came from the entrance. You see it beginning to bend off to the right and then the left, kind of once again keeping your visibility from these 8-foot-high hedges to about 15 feet in front of you, where you see it kind of softly turning off in either direction. As you continue onward, see, as I do this real quick, a clearing up ahead of you. No. Shit. Okay, 1 second.
That was fast. We picked the right one.
Xonthal's tower is fooling havoc.
All right.
But yeah, way I had
You
to
can't take it back
translate
now.
this to virtual tabletop is a bit mind-numbing, unfortunately. Okay, give me 1 second. As you come to this opening, you see a similar sight. As you're moving forward, you see an opening path that seems to meet 8 paths converging symmetrically around you. In the middle of it, you see a sundial. And as you're looking at the sundial, you see that there are 2 shadows off of it, which definitely doesn't make any sense. You see one pointing off towards the tower, and another one pointing off to the right of that.
Naya's just gonna hold up a hand and just say, "Group bowl. Does anyone know any wizards that aren't giant dicks?"
I don't know any wizards, but all the ones I've met seem like giant dicks.
I don't know wizards in here. I don't even think I've met one.
What's
You never
magic?
seen one?
I mean, we've also got Maccath to go off, I assume.
Yeah. Hey, another dick.
And they're also over here.
All right. So, thought: do we follow the same path to see if something else happens, or do we follow the new path?
Fuck.
Stone's go on point today.
The darkness of the shadows, is there any difference in them? Or are they exactly the same, just from different angles?
From what you're seeing as you kind of walk around this sundial, you see that the shadows seem to be the same. Same length, same darkness and such to them. No discernible differences between the two. Just seem to be the shadow cast by the sundial.
But 2 of them.
I say we follow the new arrow.
New arrow it is.
New arrow.
Okay, so everybody heading off to the right then.
Yep.
Yep.
So you all start moving through, heading down this new path. Everybody give me perception checks, except Tara.
Perception. Holy fuck, these rolls today, man.
And what are you wasting them all now?
Switching back and forth. That is gonna be your loading
That's
screen.
what I'm saying. Why are these such good rolls right now?
Medicine.
It's some medicine. Oh, Tara's medicine roll.
Look at this back scratcher I found. Tara, that's poison ivy.
Oh, good thing that she just took a tea that helps her get resistance to poison.
Just scratching your back with poison ivy. That's fine.
Yeah,
This
you
is
will all
fine.
appreciate my nasty ST.
So all of you, as you're walking through this hedge garden walls, kind of once again softly moving off to the right and to the left. I can't see very far ahead of you, but you continue walking through. It's still kind of early evening at this point, the sun kind of darkening overhead, but you're able to keep sight of it, still having sight ahead of you and such. As you keep walking, a few of you do notice as you're looking over to your left, Xonthal's tower rising up from the middle of this area. And as you kind of glance back towards the group, you look back and forth and you see the tower's on your right now. Or Was the tower always on your right? As you look around, kind of spinning in a circle for a moment, shaking your head, you're not sure where it was exactly. But as you keep walking, you walk for a few more minutes, and you see another opening before you. And this one seems to be different.
Uh-oh. I dig
As
it.
you move forward, you see, filling the center of this 80-foot square courtyard is a circular pool of water 60 feet across. The water is dark and murky, reducing visibility to about 1 foot. You see, hovering above, about a foot above the center of this pool, is a garnet gemstone. Another path leaves the area through the hedge wall on the far side of this pool, directly opposite where you just entered.
Group pull. Do we want to take that garnet?
Is it pretty?
Yeah, very pretty.
Motherfucker.
Wow.
Holy hell.
What do you know about mazes?
Apparently,
Were you
everything.
born in a maze?
He
Part of his
fucking knows.
backstory was he was born in a fucking hedge maze, apparently.
Wow. Yeah, that random stone being here does not make Stone Skull very comfortable. So he's kind of shaking his head at the idea of taking it.
Alright, so we've got one nay. How hard is that nay? Are you gonna start moving around and away from it?
Yup.
Yeah, let's get the damn. We get no clues, and there's just like something sticking out, right? Let's just take the damn gem.
I'll take it. Let's everybody move to the exit. I'll just fly across and snatch it.
Okay.
Alright.
Keep your eyes on the pool.
I dislike that every time I try to move my two grouped tokens here, it does the little ping on the map.
Yeah, I don't like how sensitive it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been doing it to me, so I just switched to moving on it.
Mhm.
Be prepared to unleash hell on anything that comes out of this water.
I will ready a spell. Just in case.
Okay, so everybody else just moving over towards the exit and waiting?
Yep. Keep an eye on the pool.
Can I quickly just like tie a rope around Max's waist and hold the other end of it?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do
Yeah.
that. So I got you on a 60-foot tether.
There you go. And once you head to the other side,
Yoink.
so you're gonna pull me where everybody else is.
I sprint around the edge.
Okay.
Yeah, we take like a running start, like a missile across the water, and just snatch it up in stride.
Alright. It's only about a foot off the water, so you'll be pretty close to it to snatch it, but you'll be able to do so.
Okay.
Alright. So, all of you prepared and ready. Watching back, holding incantations and such, you see Max kind of nodding to you as Ignalia grips this rope, kind of pulling it taut, ready to start pulling in the line as Max takes off, flying forward very quickly. As he does so, you see his hand reaching out as he grabs this garnet gemstone, and the water erupts underneath him.
Yeah.
Does a 24 hit?
Yeah.
Right. You see a large pincer erupt out of the water, grabbing hold of you as it grabs on, squeezing into your chest. You take 11 bludgeoning damage, and you are stopped immediately as it grapples you.
I want to release my spell.
Okay, go ahead.
Does 23 hit?
23, or yeah, you'll be doing it at disadvantage, but 23 will hit.
21.
21, okay. And
Thanks,
And I don't know how knockback works in the water.
I mean, it might get moved back. It rolled a 12, so yeah, it's not gonna fall prone, but it'll get moved back a few feet. Still well within able to grip Maximilian here. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna need everybody to roll for initiative.
I was afraid of this.
Oh, that will be alright.
Yep, there I am.
There you are.
I have Pike Trickfoot levels of initiative.
Ooh. Double ones.
Whoa.
Wow.
That
To
sucks.
be fair, that's a really good thing to just get those out of.
Yeah. Made sense. I got snatched out of the air. Wasn't ready.
It wasn't ready.
Enjoy.
We didn't listen.
Mine's actually a 14. I forgot to select it the first time.
Okay. Steve, oh, there he is. Okay. Ooh, okay. That's unfortunate. Okay. Alrighty, so as Maximilian is snatched out of the air by this large creature with huge pincers, looking very alien to all of you. Never seen one of these before.
Ooh.
But this large poked, pointed pincer is grabbing hold of Max, and then you see the water erupting in 4 other places. Okay.
Oh, cool. There are
Praise
things to
be
fight.
Cthulhu.
Max, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Alright, those.
Okay. You see dripping off the ends as these tentacles begin to lash out towards you from this thing's mouth. What appears to be some green ichor, and it slides across your face, but you're able to back it away before it slides into your mouth, as you feel that there might be some poisonous attributes to that, though it doesn't know that it doesn't really matter. But while it's grappling you, it is going to try to drag you underwater. I'll give you a strength check at disadvantage to try to keep above water.
Well, wait, am I grappled?
Oh yeah, you're grappled.
Wasn't that an athletics or acrobatics check to break the grapple?
If it hits. You can break it next turn, but if it hits you, you are grappled.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it's trying to move me against my will, isn't that?
Yeah, that's why you're getting an athletics check, yeah.
Oh, so I
But at
can't? Oh, I
disadvantage.
thought you said just strength.
Yeah, no, you're trying to stay above water, so you're thrashing around, so you'll get, an athletics. But at disadvantage. Because you don't really have anything to go off of. But unfortunately for it, it's unable to drag you underwater, as it is not strong enough. Alright. This one is going to move up.
I'll try not to mess with your guys' screen
It is
chat.
going
Sorry
to
about that.
swing its pincer twice. Once at Stone Skull, once at the bear.
Is it in range?
Yep. Got a 10-foot reach.
Okay.
That's at Stone Skull.
Okay.
And this is at the bear.
Okay. I will take the hit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's too late. I already committed to it. It's fine.
Okay.
Take
All
that.
right, so you take 14 bludgeoning damage as this pincer reaches out, grabbing hold of you on top of this bear. You see the bear thrashing back and forth as one tries to grab hold of one of its large legs, but unable to do so. It has you grappled now, but can't quite drag you under the water yet. This one, however, is going to move up next to Ignalia and make 2 attacks at her. 12 and a 16. Neither one of those will hit. And at that, it is going to disappear back into the water.
I should have warding maneuvered that.
Fuck you too,
These
then.
but
two.
I already committed. I couldn't change it.
20. And disappears under the water. And this one does much the same. Alright. Rogar.
Pull up my bow and attempt to shoot the one that's holding Max.
Okay.
As that disadvantage because it's grappled.
No, you should have straight roll. 26 will hit. You have an ally within 5 feet, so sneak attack will be a thing.
Yeah, I'm attached.
So 33 points of damage. Okay. Alright. Anything else?
Citizen Snips.
Alright. Arrow flies out, hitting this creature kind of up in its neck area, I suppose, cracking through exoskeleton, doing some good damage to it. You see some green ichor kind of sliding out of its body, but it is definitely still standing, or floating, I suppose. Stone Skull, you were grappled.
Okay. Can I still bonus action?
Yeah, you're just
Okay.
movement 0.
Yep. Bonus action rage. And then I'm going to do that. Try to break.
You successfully break free.
Yeah.
Using your action to do so.
Okay. And then I'm going to pull Gleam Edge out and prepare for next round of attacks.
Alright, so you see Stone Skull ripping this claw off of him as it scrapes across his skin. He doesn't even notice it as he rages, screaming out in defiance, able to break this creature's grasp from him. Tara, you hear a lot of water splashing. You're not entirely sure what's going on, but something's happening.
No longer grappled.
Yeah, Stone Skull, you know what? You're gonna get a little bit of this for Stone Skull. And then you're also gonna get some of this.
Oh.
And that's gonna end my turn.
Alright. So Tara, able to sense her allies for the most part, except for Max, who she hears struggling up ahead of her, but not entirely sure what's going on. Just fired off magic randomly a second ago and hoped she hit something bad. Immediately buffs Stone Skull, who's up on top of this bear. Ignalia.
So Max is within sight, and so is the creature, right?
Correct.
Okay. I will look at the creature, and I will utter an incantation and command him to release.
Drop.
Okay. That's a wisdom save, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Super good at these. All right.
No.
They super failed it. Super failed that.
Maximilian drops into the water.
Well, I was flying.
You were flying. You weren't anymore.
Well, I would get. Look, I'm not just gonna fold my wings up. I'm trying to fly. You're gonna make me plunk into the water? That's bogus.
You'll get over it, I promise.
I'm confused. So are these guys just like doggy paddling while like gripping Max and giant ass claw?
I mean, they're amphibious creatures. They can do whatever the hell they want in the water because they have a swim speed.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to be in the water. I don't like water.
Don't like it. Don't like it.
Get
don't
me
like
out.
it.
I have heavy ass. I have heavy ass armor. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Yeah, I got wings.
Oh,
I need to be
you got
flying.
that, and I got you on the other line of a rope. So
Yeah.
Yep, you are attached to a rope still.
that's If I move backwards with like the rope on me, is there any kind of benefit to him, like dragging him along?
No. I mean, you could have reeled in some of the rope. We'll
Please
say...
don't drag me through the water like chum. Like, don't. if I'm in the water, don't pull me. I don't
Come
want
and
to.
He
get it.
was 65 feet or so away from you before. He is now 30, so I could say you probably reeled in about 20 feet of that rope. You still got another 10 feet or so you need before it even gets taut, and then you can try to drag him out.
Okay, well, Willie, case in point, I need you out of that water because we're gonna do a lobster boil. Okay.
Yep. Let me get out of here. I'm out. Don't worry.
All right. So
Oh,
I will
don't
back
worry.
up towards Tara with the rope to try to help close some of that distance on the rope.
All right. Yeah, it's getting pretty taut by the time you move back there.
All right.
All right.
Now his turn.
Okay. Maximilian, you're floundering in the water. You're still head above water and stuff. You haven't started beginning to sink, so you can try to escape.
Yeah, I want to use my wings to launch me, up out of the water and into the air.
Okay.
And then once I'm up, the 20 feet, just say 15.
Okay.
I'm
As
going
you're flying out of the water, though, this one is going to get an attack of
Attack
opportunity.
of opportunity. Yep.
23 to hit.
It's gonna snare him again.
I can feel Willie's scorn from here.
Yeah.
Fine. You know what? Fine. Fuck it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you got me. Wait, hold on.
Alright.
Because you know what? I'm not dealing with it. Bye. I'm out.
All right. So
not
instead of
sticking with
flying, you're just gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm out of here. Fuck you.
I'm not
Fuck you.
doing
I have a
that.
fuck you door. I'm out.
See ya. Bye.
Not today.
And then I'm going to turn right at the edge of the water. I'm going to turn and scorch the first one standing by Stone Skull, and then use bonus action to give Stone Skull a point of inspiration.
You use your action to cast Dimension Door.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, then just a bonus action.
Okay. Giving Stone
Okay.
Skull, you said inspiration.
Yep.
All right. Oh, that was not the right thing.
Yay.
That was the right thing. There we go. Too many buffs.
All the
right,
things.
so you see
Now
Maximilian
they all
struggling to
die.
get out of the water, looking over towards this creature that's reaching out to grab him again, and then he winks out of existence. He appears next to you. You see a slosh of water splashing onto the ground next to him from this dimension door, kind of catching some of the water around him with the spell. He immediately looks over at Stone Skull, kind of whispering some words as he looks kind of frustrated with getting caught. You do see his left hand still clutching this garnet, though. He didn't drop it.
Yay.
All right.
Come at me, you ugly looking piece of shit.
All three of the ones that disappeared resurface and begin moving forward. This one's sliding up as well. Okay. That one can't hit you, but the other two can. Well, that one can actually, if it occupies it and moves back out. So we're just going to start with the first two. Both of them making pincer attacks at Stone Skull, who's like glowing with buffs right now. First one, 20 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. Second one, 23.
Who is that targeted at?
This one, at you.
At me.
At you.
Yeah, I'm gonna warding maneuver. Okay.
Alright, so down to 16.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that'll miss. The next one is going to swing at you as well. 2 attacks.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Motherfucker.
Wait, do you get... Oh, it's still going to hit anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't stop that. It's gonna hit how much?
Yeah, you're right.
That will be with max damage. 24 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled again.
Okay. 24 minus 5's 19. Halved is 9.
Yep.
Okay.
It's got one more attack.
Okay.
Natural 1. It sloshes on the water, just making a fool of itself.
Okay.
Just make it lose the grapple. That's fair. You can't drop
This
it.
one is going to move forward into the other one's space for a moment and make
course
2
it
attacks
is.
at the bear this time.
Of course it is,
First
Havoc.
one, 15.
Hold on. No.
Okay. Second one, that's not right.
That's not right.
21.
Yep.
All right.
I'm annoyed.
You're adding your
Uh,
haste bonus then, right?
I'm... Yeah. Fuck these guys.
Yeah,
All right,
they're
so
all-
you see...
Oh, watch.
What?
It's going to kind of move down there a little bit.
Wait, he
Yeah,
has the
it's-
bear grappled?
So the
other one
bear
has-
and Stone Skull both have large pincers onto them, starting to drag them forward. You see both of them sliding towards the edge of this water. Not quite there yet, but these creatures obviously seem to be dragging them forward. This one is going to disappear under the water again, along with this one.
I'm not stuck here with you. You're stuck here with me.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Be careful.
Rogar.
You grab.
That one, this one I move it to. Nah, he'll stay up.
If they're grappled, you have sneak attack. Like, he's touching him right now. You can't not get be close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Talking, I cannot hear you.
I'm going to fucking
I muted
destroy
myself
these
because
things.
of the coughing. Let's stab this crab people person.
Okay.
Destroy.
17 will hit. Jesus Christ.
Oh!
Roll lower of 4 on your D6s. Alright, that's 8, 40,
Should grab
43.
43 points of damage. Alright.
That'd be hell.
Okay.
And just
Bonus action disengage. Okay. Alright, so as she attacks this creature, you see a huge piece of its kind of exoskeleton plating being ripped off by the rapier's attack. This gleaming silver blade just cutting through this creature as it takes a massive
They
amount of
asked for
damage.
this.
Still alive. These creatures do seem kind of hardy, but that hurt.
Yeah, that hurt
Stone
anyone.
Skull.
Okay, the one that is holding on to the bear, I am reckless attacking from this point forward.
So the bear one was this one?
Yeah, the one to the south.
The one that Rogar just popped.
So here's 1, 2. Is it still alive?
34 points of damage, yes. Plus another 12. Still alive.
Okay. Plus 1 more because of haste.
Another hit. And now it's dead.
Cool. The bear is not grappled anymore.
Let's go.
Fuck this other guy. I'm going to action surge and he's gonna lose his fucking claw too.
Okay, 26 will hit. Uh, 17 will also hit.
And I also get haste on action surge, correct?
No, haste is once per turn.
Okay. So 30, 43, 45, 45.
Yeah,
That's
45.
mean. Being mean to him.
Big hits. Alright.
And then I'm going to keep myself grappled by this thing. I'm not even phased by it. And yeah, that's it.
Hey, why do I imagine Stone Skull grabbing the other end of the claw, like bringing it in tighter? Like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
It's like just
you really messed
re-grapples.
up. Yeah, nah,
Alright.
you're. I'm grappling. You.
I also forgot something.
Mhm.
Technically, attacks against the bear would be at disadvantage.
Okay.
So going forward.
Yeah, going forward.
Yeah. It doesn't change anything. I would have done the same exact thing no matter what. But
Okay.
Good enough.
All right, so
But yeah,
stones
good
go
to know.
wailing on 2 of these creatures, doing massive damage to the second one after killing one of them.
Just
This one's
hack
starting
and
to look pretty
slash.
bloodied up and such, but definitely still standing. Tara.
Terra is going to first send Mr. Pebbles kind of close to the edge of the water, and he's going to go after this one.
Oof.
This is a 24 hit
24 hits.
Much better.
for 18 bludgeoning.
Okay.
And then, oh, no, that's concentration. That's also concentration. I guess we'll just go at it with disadvantage. Gonna just kind of step over here and fire another fist at the one in front of Mr. Pebbles.
Okay.
24.
24 will hit. Yep.
For 27 bludgeoning.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Strength save. Okay, it doesn't move.
And that will end my turn.
All right, so Mr. Pebbles wailing on this creature, breaking into it, opening up some, and then a giant fist made of stone smashes against it, breaking it even further. Ignalia.
Seeing everything looking pretty well at hand, I'm going to resort to taking pot shots. Which one of these looks worse?
They actually look pretty similarly beat up.
Okay, well then I'll attack the one.
The one that's worse is the one
Stone
that's
Skull.
currently attached to Stone Skull. Yeah, that's the one that could have problems.
And that one is marked in case you didn't see Havoc. I forgot about that. But yeah.
Equally damaged right now.
Ew, 13.
damaged.
Ooh, that's gonna miss.
Yucky.
Alright. She lets it go. She's not really feeling.
All right. Firing off a firebolt, it kind of fizzles out as it moves forward. Those of you using magic, you feel like a tingle all across your skin, like you're surrounded by some of your spells, but you're clearly not. You're definitely feeling like the ebb and flow of the weave of magic all around you. It kind of sets you off a bit, makes it a little bit harder to attack, it feels. Mostly for flavor, not really. All right, Maximilian, you're not in the water, able to dimension door out of there. What do you want to do?
Do it.
Muted if you're talking to me.
Hey, muted. I'm moving up in the air, 15 feet in the air, and breathing fire down on both of these guys.
All right. Dick saves. 1 and a 3.
And con
Failed.
saves.
Damage first. Okay.
That's a
Still
nice breath.
equally damaged. And con saves north first, south. Both fail that too. All right.
Blinded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now it's more like Watchmen. Like they just got the hot grease thrown in their face. Like, you really messed up.
Way
and
to
then
go.
I'm going to give a point of inspiration to Steve.
To Steve. Okay.
Now let me turn.
All right. So this large wave of fire coming out of Maximilian's maw, glowing with this radiant light mixed in with the fire, the red flames of it, hits both these creatures. They shielding themselves best they can against the water, but not really helping themselves, and they just didn't turn their heads away fast enough. You see them squinting, all these little eyes, I think.
Popping.
No, these 2 little tiny beady eyes, like unable to see. You see little slits going back and forth as they're trying to clear their vision, but unable to do so.
Melting that like shit in his armor a little bit over their eyes. Like,
Alright, well, this one in front of Mr. Pebbles is going to swing at him. A 25 to hit Mr. Pebbles,
Sure.
and a 20 to hit Mr. Pebbles.
Sure.
Alright, for 28 points of bludgeoning damage, which I think Mr. Pebbles shrugs off.
He
to look at his damage immunities. Alright, so that's that guy's turn. This one, not able to see, still having Stone Skull in his hand, is going to immediately start pulling, trying to drag Stone Skull into the water. I will need an athletics check, Stone Skull.
I can't be removed from my saddle, so he would have to move the bear as well.
Alright.
No. So real quick,
I can't be dismounted while I'm conscious.
Uh-huh. Yeah, go ahead and give me an athletics check, though.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. So he pulls on you, unable to pull you off, and is going to swing his other pincer at you
He
instead.
can't pull me off anyways.
Missing, though. His attacks. That guy's dead. That guy's attacked. The water combat's not working out, so you see these other two slithering out of the water and moving forward.
Shouldn't do that.
Right here. And 5, 10, 15. Alright, this one down to the south is going to make 2 attacks at Rogar. 10 and a 21 on the second one.
Yep.
Alright, you take
You have
12
the
bludgeoning
inspiration.
damage.
You want? No, God.
You are now grappled as well. Alright, and the one to the north making attacks at Ignalia.
Hello.
Hello
No.
there.
This
12 and
is the same
16.
roll from last time. Get out of here.
Yep. Just can't get
Just
good
bring
against the
that weak
armor.
shit in here.
Alright. So bouncing off of the ground as you sidestep one attack and then you raise Irony up to block the second one. You hear him going, I don't like crustaceans. What the hell are these? And that's all their turns.
I love irony.
Crustacean.
Alright, Rogar, you're grappled by this creature.
Athletics or acrobatics to get out? Or,
Yep. Either one, you pick.
acrobatics.
Oh, crap.
You break
Good one.
free using your action to do so. You're able to break free. Anything else?
To get out of there.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of there.
You can still, bonus session, disengage and move, right?
Has to land an attack first, I think.
Rogues can always bonus action disengage.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. You're right.
What
Yeah.
the-
You're having your PTSD about swashbucklers again.
Fuck swashbuckler. I mumble it in my sleep.
Alright, so bonus action moving back there, Rogar?
Yep.
Okay. Alright. Still within range, but alright.
Uh-huh.
Stepping up, moving up against this hedge as you move back away from this creature that had you grappled. He looks kind of beat up, though, from getting attacked earlier. Speaking of attacking, Stone Skull.
Yep, Stone Skull can attack. I'm gonna have the bear move forward, which is gonna, like, push the arm. Would that work? Like, just getting in closer to everything?
Yeah, you can get closer.
Since I'm not trying to break out of the grapple there.
Yeah, you're closer. Still gripped, but closer.
Okay. Yep. And then the one directly in front of me. Same thing. Reckless for these.
Oh.
Natural 20?
Yep. The one that has me grappled.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's dead.
Can
Okay, cool.
I
He's
get a little bit of flavor on that? Because you were talking about moving to get closer. I was just wondering what you had in mind.
oh, like this was one of those things where Stone Skull's like, oh no, you're not going to try to pull me off of barefoot. It's been far too long, and he's just going to walk up and just immediately just jab the sword like through the tentacle mouth of this thing, just all the way through, and then just quickly withdraw it, and then begin swiping to the one at the south.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You know when you stab the lobster through the head before you throw it in the boiling pot of water?
Same thing. Same principle here.
All right, one to the south. 25 will hit.
25
will also
and
hit.
27. 4, 6, 8, 9, 18, 20, 30,
32,
38,
34, 36.
8. Hold on. Calculator.
36. Oh, plus the
37.
rend.
37. Or 47, I'm sorry.
Yeah, say plus rend.
47.
Yeah, it's dead.
Yay.
Oh.
Skull's like, huh. Okay.
They were all pretty beat up from other attacks, too.
I guess that's... yeah, I guess that's his turn? Yeah, that's his turn.
Alright, so Stone Skull breaking free of his grapple by means of killing the one grappling him, the claw kind of sliding off as it falls into the water. This one in the land is next to fall as he brings his great sword down twice, chopping bits and pieces of it off. You see a claw and mandibles going in different directions as this blood fury is crossing through Stone Skull. Tara, you feel one near you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, look, I'm not at disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Pebbles is going to take his turn on that one.
This one?
On this one.
To the north.
North, okay. Unfortunately, 13 and 14 will both
Yeah, Mr. Pebbles needs to work on his rolls. And then, yeah, we're gonna... Yeah, we'll do another Gaia's Fist.
Okay,
This one.
that one. Okay, so with regular roll, 19 will hit.
23.
Alright, not push backwards.
That will end my turn.
Alright. So hitting this creature with your Gaia's Fist, you see it slamming against it, cracks going through its exoskeleton, but it's still standing, not really damaged before then. Ignalia, it tried to
Alright.
attack you.
He did, and I will judge him. He has been judged.
Are we going to measure
Judged
him?
and found wanting. 21 will hit.
Alright, so he takes the 22 total damage.
Trying to center it perfectly. Not centering very well.
Okay.
Alright, and I'll move up a little bit closer just to kind of seal the barrier there. And that's it.
Alright, so heavenly, this blade glowing with radiant light slashes into this creature, carving out more of its exoskeleton, but it's still alive. Maximilian, floating above the carnage that is Stone Skull. And you are muting.
That's a shame. Yeah, I was rolling to see the breath recharge. It did not. So I'm going to where? Oh, there we are. Going to Angel Bolt time. I'm going to fly down and like attack / crash into this guy.
Okay.
Like it just for flavor, I want it to be like, flying down feet first, kind of kicking him as I'm attacking. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright, well, should have led with the sword, not your feet, but you do bounce off of it, not doing any damage, but still hitting it.
Yep. And I'll land on the ground next to him.
Okay.
And give a point of inspiration to Ignalia.
Alrighty. There it is. Okay. Alrighty, so as Maximilian soars back down from the air, landing up, bouncing off this guy, trying to distract him a bit, you see the eyes kind of evenly split between you two. There are two still up. How long does that blind last on that? I forgot.
I don't think we ever set a duration, to be honest.
I feel like there's... I think it's one turn, if I remember correctly. Let me double check my notes. Oh god, I gotta open up a Word document. Where is it?
I keep messing with the stream thing. I wonder if I can.
Max,
Nah.
to the
that's
end
too
of
much.
its next turn. So it is still blinded for right now.
Alright,
Wait,
I'll
no,
add that
it would have
in.
gotten blinded. It would have got blinded last turn. Yeah, because it swung at disadvantage before. So
Yes,
it's
well,
unblinded now.
Well, you said the end of its next turn, right? It went before
Yeah.
me. So this would still be its next turn from that last one.
How did they go before you if they're after you in the turn order?
What? No, they're 15, right?
Yeah,
I'm
you were the
dead
last turn. Yeah, last turn you claimed them.
Right.
They went.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
their
yeah,
next
okay,
turn.
you're right. Good call. Thank you
Yeah.
for correcting. Good call.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm confused. Like, I'm literally
Me
going after
too.
you right now.
Yeah, I was like, I don't understand. Yeah,
all right, yeah. Turn order is a circle, not a straight line. All right, so they are unblinded. Well, this guy's unblinded. Is going to keep wailing. He's got 2 targets ahead of him. He's going to pick one at random. Mr. Pebbles getting wailed on. A natural 20 and a 17. Natural 20 will do...
For a total of 17 bludgeoning damage. No, that second one's not going to hit. Sorry. For a total of 11 bludgeoning damage. Got it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Alright. That's its turn. This one to the north. Once again, kind of split between these 2 targets. Is going to turn towards Maximilian and swing twice at him. Natural 20. And a 22.
Yeah, those are both it.
32 points of damage from those 2 attacks. And you are grappled. Rogar.
I make my way to that square without provoking an attack of opportunity.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, you can move over there and still be within range of
Yeah,
everything.
you should be able to get like here and over here or whatever or something like that.
Yeah, you can move
Yeah.
there. You can move to
Yeah.
this square.
Alright, going here and stabbing him.
Okay. Prime material. Yeah, 27's gonna hit. Or 35 points of damage. Alright. Still alive. Very hurt now, though. Anything else?
Nope. I'm good.
Alright. So yeah, big stab into the back of this creature. You're opening up a massive wound from like the entry and then yanking your rapier back out. Takes the chitinous plate off the back of it. It's super hurt. Only 2 left. They both look super hurt. Stone Skull.
Yay! Stone Skull's gonna rotate just a little bit on the bear and swipe at the one to the north, Reckless. Oh god. Oh god.
Yeah, just go ahead and describe how you kill it.
Same kind of thing. Actually, this one I'm gonna just come right around and just aiming for like all the tentacles and just trying to swipe all of them off, and it like inadvertently like guts the throat of this thing and like just falls over. Yeah. Yeah. What do I want to do? Can I kill still this? Can I take this one?
Oh, it's weird. Weird how Rogar gets yelled at for this now. Stone Skull's doing it.
I wonder how many times Stone Skull has done this.
Mortal Inquiry
No.
surfaces.
Oh, come on, roll 20. Okay. Holy crap, that was awful. Like it froze. And then 2 swipes at this one.
Knows it's
Okay.
wrong.
It knows it's wrong.
This is wrong.
Well, just for that.
Uh-huh.
I hope it.
And go ahead and describe how you took out the last one.
Okay. Kind of. I actually think on this one he'll just charge forward and almost tramples this thing. And as this crustacean moves to the side and tries to avoid it, Stone Skull's just like swipes all the way through like a baseball bat swing as he comes through, and then like on a backhand brings it back around for the second attack.
All right, so cleaving through this thing, clearly taking it out with this first attack, but just in his rage, just chopping up, making very odd-looking lobster dinner out of this thing, just blood and guts going everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% killing it with the first attack. All right.
Considered using my free action to drop Gone before you can kill it with
That'd have been so good.
Stone Skull leads back, and then he's just covered in this wave of fatigue. Tara just giggling to herself as she's thinking her guy's fist over. That would have been hilarious. You should have done it.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So can I ask what would have happened if I failed that athletics?
The bear would have rolled 2, and then I would have had you both add it together and see if you'll beat a 19.
Oh God.
It was super unlikely for you.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what would have happened? That's weird. Like, just because of how that saddle is worded, it's like I don't know that I can go anywhere without the bear going.
Doesn't mean the bear can't move.
Right.
The bear can still move 100%. It's like, it's unlikely. Big ass fucking 1,500 pound bear. But it could happen.
It could happen.
Alright, so those of you with physical vision, go ahead and give me perception checks.
It's the rage. I haven't come down from it yet. Where are they at? Bring me more.
Alright, so as all of you are looking around, Maximilian looking down to his hand where he sees this garnet gemstone still in his hand, glancing at these now dead creatures, you see them, one still in the pool, slinking off into the water. Rogar and Maximilian, as you're glancing off to the water where these bodies are, you see what appears to be a glimmer that you didn't see initially, and then it vanishes again as it seems like this murky water covers it up again. But you definitely saw the glimmer of something from within this pool.
I turn and take the garnet and say, "Hey, Stone Skull," and like toss it up in the air. Like that's
Stone
you,
Skull
buddy.
make it. Stone Skull make it, or you tossing it at Stone Skull?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like tossing it up in the air.
Dex save.
A dex save.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you catch it.
And then I just say sorry and dive backwards into the water.
All right.
arcing
Go ahead and give me. I'm just kidding. You jump into the water. You're immediately blinded as it's just super murky, but you start feeling yourself swimming down. And after about, it takes you a few moments as you feel you're getting pretty deep in the pool. All the rest of you see that Max is gone.
While I'm down there,
It does nothing. This is super dark, muddy water. Light just makes the mud brighter in your eyes, but you still can't see anything. As you swim for a few moments, though, still holding your breath, you start to see a glimmer from the light of your drift globe. And as you get closer to the center, you see piled up are a bunch of different things in the middle of this pool, about 50 feet down. You see several potion bottles, several, like 8 of them. You see what appears to be a elongated stick. You see 3 daggers that show off this light off of that. You see another device that looks very similar to the one hovering next to you. Another drift globe within the water. And you see what appears to be a kind of bright gem that's squared off, but it's a clear sapphire.
I'm going to take my cloak off from around my shoulders and use that like a scoop, like a bag. Pick everything I can, grab the stick, and use wings and crouching at the bottom. I imagine my armor being enough to weigh me down. I spring up, back up to the top.
There. Yeah. With enough effort, you'd be able to swim back up using your wings to assist you with your heavy armor on. Eventually breaking the surface once again and struggling forward, kind of holding this bundle of your cloak in one arm and swimming forward. You're able to climb back out and dripping with water and such, this muck and mucky, water falling off of him. You see Max setting down this bundle here that rattles as he does so.
Climbing out of the water, like one hand on the edge, come out with a big stick in my mouth, and my cloak wrapped around a whole bunch of shit, like dropping it on the edge. Check this out.
As you all kind of lean over, checking out the contents of this, once again seeing, 8 potion vials, what appears to be a small stick that a couple of you pretty readily recognize as some kind of wand. You see 3 of these daggers that are still shining even in the evening light, another drift globe, and this clear sapphire that seems to radiate a bit of light as well. And as you're all investigating and looking at that, we're going to go ahead and take our 5-minute break.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
All right, so 5-minute break. 5-minute break. When we get back, we will continue through our maze. Hopefully get out into the clearing and head towards the tower. But I have a feeling the dungeon itself is this. So this is going to be our dungeon crawl, which I'm pretty excited about. 5 minutes. When we get back, we will continue our wander through this dungeon. So don't go anywhere. All right, so we're getting ready to jump back into our game here. Before we continue, thank you, Party Wipe Games, for the 8 months in a row. I appreciate it very much. As I had mentioned in our previous stream, I don't want to interrupt the games. So if I can do any little segments like during our breaks or something like that where I can talk about subscriptions or new followers or things of that nature, I'm going to choose to do them there. And I'm actually going to adjust my away screen so I'm not bringing us fully back yet from the break. But with that being said, I believe we are pretty much ready to go. Are you guys ready?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Zorn, he had to step away for a second.
He's here.
I'm back.
Oh, look at
He's
that.
here.
Man, that's fast.
Super fast. So yeah.
I even got Powerball tickets.
Scott?
Wow.
We did too.
Yep, alright. Alright, so you find yourself standing here around this pool. All the creatures have been slain, and Maximilian has brought up a bunch of loot.
We'll start siphoning through the potions that we know.
Yeah, you're able to tell 6 of them have a very familiar red glow and hue to them as potions of healing.
I'm just going to
silly thing.
start working my way through them.
It's super broke.
Popping corks and drinking liquid.
Okay, 2d4 plus 2.
I don't know why it's grabbing the wrong thing here whenever I switch that.
That's an important. And another one.
Okay.
And another one. Go ahead and drink one more.
Just all the potions of healing, and they're gone.
I thought you said there were 6 of them.
Yeah, there's 6. That's 4 of them.
We still have some.
Yeah.
It's fine. Keep drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go.
So it just took all 6.
Yep. One after the other. So there was a lot of glug 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 stuff down there. Check it out. Glug 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 glug.
I'm actually going to. I was going to take one and was going to give one to Bear, so.
Okay.
There we go. I'll get 5 and the Bear will get 9.
Still have 2 potions that you don't quite recognize. You see One has a bit of red into it, kind of similar to a potion of healing, but you see the red in this potion liquid continuously expands from a tiny bead to color the clear liquid around it and then contracts. The other one you see the potion's orange liquid flickers and smoke fills the top of the container and wafts out whenever it's opened.
I'm going to I'm gonna cast that first identify on the potion that's expanding.
Okay. You're able to tell pretty quickly that this is a potion of growth. When you drink this potion, you gain the enlarge effect of enlarge reduce for 1d4 hours. No concentration required.
Hold it up and kind of in between Stone Skull and Ignalia.
I point at Stone Skull.
Oh God.
Yeah, put that in your hand. Enjoy, bud.
Oh,
Tara doesn't
Alright.
notice.
That's why I didn't say anything. It wasn't for you. Huh? Huh? Oh, that's just standing there, not even looking at anything. And then I'm going to cast
because that's not fucking
Identify
terrifying, is it?
again.
Okay.
On the wand.
As you start holding onto this wand and concentrating on it as you cast your spell, you're able to open your eyes as you feel the wand changing. And as you watch it, you see wraps of white cloth begin to surround it from the bottom, going all the way up to the top where you see two edged fangs begin to grow out the side of it, also covered in white cloth around the hilt of it. At the very top of this wand, you see two purple feathers come into existence, and then a small, what looks like maybe a rat or some kind of creature's skull appears at the end. And then you feel its properties radiating through your mind as I put this into your inventory, Max. So feel free to look at your handouts.
No. Right.
Let me change the handout so it's actually accurate. Wait. Let's put this in big bold letters at the top. There.
Following day. Okay. You want to just show that to the group? I definitely want to make sure everybody's aware. That's nice.
Okay. All
Wand
players.
of Fear.
There you go.
Ooh.
Does
Alright.
require attunement.
Yeah, I currently don't have any.
Yep.
Thing that requires attunement.
Neat.
Okay.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I think super dope.
Yeah.
That is super dope. Alright. I'm gonna stash the unknown potion. Are you, Ignalia? You wanna throw this in the back?
Yep.
And then I'm gonna hand the other drift globe to Rogar.
That's the other stuff aside from what you've already identified.
3 shiny daggers.
Are the 3 daggers all the same?
Yeah, they all have black hilts across them with the shine of the metal being what you were able to see. They look excellently crafted.
Are they small daggers?
I mean, regular sized ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna use identify on those. Those are the last ones.
You're able to tell after identifying the first one that these all have the same similar reinforcement as +1 daggers.
Nice.
Neat.
Throwing daggers? Or just daggers? Or all daggers throwing daggers?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
Except for our super fancy ones that we get to pick up when we come back.
I'm going to, as you said, when we come back and kind of look at it, we could all have personalized Scales of Justice daggers.
That's what
Or you
I'm
just
working
drag it
on.
to you. That's right, I'm
That's
sorry. Oh, I'm not
That's
doing
what
it.
I'm working on.
Yeah, okay, no. Whoops.
Yeah.
Okay. There's the Steve as well. This would be, or no, he's got a bow. I'll hang on to him. Tuck him in my belt. You never know.
Okay.
Yeah. And then and toss the gem in the bag too. Because now they hold it out at the waist. I'm like Kobe, 3-point, shoot it in the bag.
I just opened one of my like 4 bags of holding and it happened to roll into one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then kind of pick ourselves back up and get ready to keep going, eh? Hey, boys? Girls?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ready.
So what's the total recap of the shit I put in my bag and I'm now responsible for?
Sapphire gem and an unknown potion. A clear sapphire gem.
What happened with the other drift globe?
I give it to Steve. He's
Okay.
in the dark vision.
Cool.
Bam.
Bam.
All right. Everybody ready to take off and head back into the hedges then?
Yeah, continue on into the hedges.
Yes.
All right. So as you all begin to move forward, you see the hedges take on a very similar appearance before you. They begin to wind around, kind of curving off in different directions. Once again, as you're all looking around, those of you that have sight, you see that the tower is off ahead of you. And as you glance back down and kind of survey your surroundings, you notice the tower is now a different direction. Not sure if your mind's playing tricks on you, the tower is, or what exactly is going on, but something seems off. Until, or maybe even more so, when you arrive at another opening. Once again, you see an intersection where 8 paths converge symmetrically, with a golden sundial in the middle of it.
Is there a mysterious third shadow?
Nope, same. You see it is exactly the same as the last time you saw it.
I vote we go through the one in the middle of the two.
I think we should keep the path that's the same that we were doing it. If we're gonna divert from that course, we should start back from the beginning.
Well, I feel this is the beginning.
Oh.
Just one of the shadow paths. That's all that I think.
Well, it makes me wonder. We followed the second shadow path and it brought us here without adding a third or having anything change at all. See what happens if we go down a path that isn't marked.
I don't know, my thought is we went down a shadow path. I guess we did something correct because it made another one appear. And then we went down a second.
We didn't.
Maybe we didn't do something, so a third one didn't appear.
We
Like,
couldn't.
maybe we fucked up.
We couldn't do anything in the first path. We just walked and it brought us back, and the second one appeared.
Yeah, maybe that was like saying you chose correctly, and like now you get to advance, and maybe now there's more conditions.
Okay, sure.
That's just my thought. Like you can do whatever, but
I would agree with that. Stone Skull, on the other hand, is kind of on the fence and doesn't really understand yet.
So we're gonna take the 3 o'clock path again.
No. So, out of character, I feel like it bringing us back here after we went through the other area means that we did something wrong. We know that following the shadow worked the first time. We followed a shadow the second time, and it just brought us back here to the same place we were. Actually, hold on.
Okay.
Where is the tower from where we are?
Beyond the shadow.
So it's north.
Hard to tell.
No, that's what I'm asking. I'm looking around because before we could look around and we could see off ahead or in the distance or whatever the tower. Is it now obscured by the hedges?
No, you can still see it rising up ahead of you.
Okay.
Let's not use that as
Straight ahead.
Yes.
This
So
story,
up this way.
Oh, wait a second. Okay. Second thought. In case we didn't fuck up, because it doesn't really seem like, we missed anything. Go between the two?
That's what I said.
That's
Okay,
what Max
yeah,
was saying.
I think I wasn't thinking about it correctly. I vote that now.
Man. Yeah, let's do it.
Hey,
Let's just see
you're
what I'm
smart.
saying. Narrow it down.
Smart. We love your brain.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That makes me feel better.
To the beautiful mind. All right.
Right.
So everybody
Yeah.
going down this path?
Yeah.
You? All right.
Yep.
You all start walking down, and once again, much the same as what you've seen before. That's a date. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna move y'all back here. I gotta move something around because that's real dangerous. Okay,
What?
there we go.
Hell yeah, it is.
All right. So you set off walking down the path. As you do so, you see the hedge. Once again, Max, especially you, you're able to tell that this is not what you saw above you. These clean, pathways through here do not match what you saw before. It's, like I said, once closer to a hedge garden here. Definitely somewhat maze-like, but definitely not the decrepit landscape that you saw from the air. You continue wandering around the sides. It curves this way and that. And you find yourself coming to an opening again. That looks very familiar.
We have chosen poorly.
As you move back and you find yourself
It's gonna be
moving
the first one.
into an area that has 8 paths meeting at a sundial.
Ooh.
Hold up, I did this wrong. 1 second.
Holding.
Fixing
Oh God,
it
it's
because
moving. Kill it.
this stuff. moves
Oh no,
around.
the shadows are moving.
Yeah, I'm mimic.
Kill it.
All right.
Kill the fire.
So you see this
Rolling.
one. As you move closer to this sundial, you see the ever-present one pointing towards the tower, but now 2 other shadows, once again not following the sun at all, pointed to 2 other paths.
Well, we created another shadow. So my thought now is to go down another path where no shadow is pointing. And see what happens.
So our choices are the one we already took, this one, the ones on the sides.
Let's go.
Wait, yeah. This
yeah.
one because there's no other open path next to it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go down.
Yeah, high five.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't ask the rest of the group, just starts walking.
Just takes off.
Yeah, we're just a high five. Yeah, we're just moving down like in a trot. Wait, guys.
We're like the vegan police.
What are you guys doing?
Why
No,
don't we
this
just
way.
burn down these hedges, Signalia?
As much as I would love to fuck with this wizard's garden, I feel like it would be pointless.
I feel like it would be kind of foolish.
All right. So everybody in the consensus of going down this path.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Once again, set back through this hedge maze, moving forward through it. The sun has moved ever so slightly. It's a little bit darker than when you first entered. But it seems that you're making good progress, or at least as far as you can tell you are. Give me 1 second here. As you meander around the sides, going back and forth through these different winding passageways with slight curves through them, you see, and as you get closer, you see this opening looks familiar once again.
Mighty
See
familiar.
it split in several directions in a
Would it be 8?
symmetrical
directions?
fashion, and you see a sundial with 4 shadows around it this time.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no.
Okay, so now cardinal directions. I don't
Can I
think it's
see the
gonna matter.
tower?
Yeah, where's the tower?
Don't see it at all, actually.
I just flip a bird to like every general direction then.
This one.
As you're all standing there looking around, Ignalia getting frustrated, you all see the shadows begin to move.
Yes.
They begin to rotate. And as they rotate around the face of the sundial, they begin to spin faster. You see them becoming shorter and shorter as they spin faster and faster as they shrink into the gnomon and into the sundial. And now you see
None of
no
them.
shadows at all.
I cast Firebolt on the sundial.
It pews and burns the side of it. See a little bit of a black smudge on the side of the sundial.
So we don't see the tower. We don't see any shadows.
Nope. Saw the shadows pointing in 4 different directions. They spun in circles and then disappeared, seemingly almost into the sundial.
Inspect
So we
the
did-
sundial.
Now I feel like we did something wrong.
I mean, I shot it. Nothing happened.
No, I mean in this sequence. I say
I don't
we
know.
pick a
Is there anything
direction.
different about the sundial?
Investigating it, you see that aside from the mark that you just put onto it, it looks the same. The sundial's about 10 feet wide, and, diameter, 10 feet in diameter. About 5 feet off the ground. Nothing looks different about it, aside from the fact that it's not casting any shadows now.
Let's just pick a direction and go down it.
I don't know. I feel like the shadows are they've always been important.
Correct. Yeah.
So like, I mean, it's either you're correct or it's none of them somehow.
Yeah. Well, let's just try something.
Alright.
I mean, why not? What do we have to lose? My thought is there's no ceiling here. Like, while it's disorienting, I can get us out of here at any time.
We could also just try having someone go and like the rest of us staying, or like half and half, and see what happens.
That seems like a particularly bad idea.
That's yeah.
Hey man, I'm just saying.
I know, but I'm saying if this is changing reality or where we're at, the chance of us ever finding each other again is very not good.
I want to go in this path.
All right, let's go.
What's that? We can't hear you.
Which way you go?
This
10
one.
o'clock.
Yeah, I would like to go northwest.
Wait, we haven't gone yet.
So here's my thought. It started here, and it went here, and then it went here. I want to keep a
No,
symmetric
not
pattern.
that. It didn't. We went up, and we went 3 o'clock. And we went
Right,
back
but
to
we
1 o'clock.
reset after 3 o'clock. We reset back to the same one that was there after we went north. Because when we went north, it pointed north and east. We chose east, and then it brought us right back to north and east. So we went northeast instead. After that, then it pointed north, southeast, and southwest, which meant we went center. I'm thinking doing a symmetric pattern which would match basically the paths we've went.
Okay.
North,
Yeah.
northeast, south,
Calm down.
northwest. That's that's just where I'm like thinking, and I mean, please tell me if you don't agree, because I'm just trying to sort it out.
Sounds good to me. Like I said, I just think anyone is good.
Yeah.
I bet Havoc is sitting there laughing at us.
I would never. So, going this way?
Yep.
Okay. About 10 minutes has passed, so all of your inspiration, unfortunately, is going to drop at this point. Alright, so you start walking once again, heading into the winding passages of this place. As you're walking, you see the familiar turns and such before you. Nothing seems dissimilar compared to what you've seen before, just the winding path ahead of you. You see an opening ahead of you, and as you move closer, you see that it opens to a much larger area. As you emerge from the path into an area far larger than any open area you've expected to encounter in this maze garden. This rectangular space must be 90 feet across, with the far side being at least 150 feet away from you. It looks like a boulder-strewn pasture, with a large pond to one side and a fenced vegetable garden and oversized cottage on the other. Sheep graze in the pasture, tended by what appear to be a pair of cyclops, but none of them are moving. They all appear frozen in time.
I chose
I
poorly.
feel like we chose wrong.
Mistakes were made. Go back.
Go back. Go back.
I want to just sit down for a second and cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay. Take about 10 minutes.
Yeah, just
What's
give me a
everybody else
second.
doing? Anybody else do anything during this 10 minutes? You're just standing there?
Just holding a spell in case the Cyclops come to life and lava boulder at me.
Look, I don't know who put me all the way up there, but I didn't want to be up there, so I'm gonna step behind Ignalia and ready a spell too.
Okay. Like I said, you see this pasture all around you, these goats off to your east here. None of them moving. They seem like frozen in mid, like graze, and looking up in the air. Everything seems to be frozen, including these two cyclopses down at the far end away from you.
I don't know.
All right. About 10 minutes goes by. Everybody's standing in place, looking around, not sure what to do. Maximilian, as your detect magic comes up, you feel everything around you is magical. You look at the ground below your feet. It radiates all different types of magic. The air seems to radiate it. The hedges, the natural formations of the like the ground beneath the goat's feet and the oversized cottage and such. Everything radiates magic of all the different schools.
Oh boy. I'll kind of relay that to everyone. It's too much. I can't make out any of it. I say we. So first, I think we're kind of in over our heads, and second, it's two Cyclops. We'll just have to try and make it past.
Alright, let's approach the definitely not dead Cyclops.
Wait. Yeah, no, they're definitely not dead.
I'm just saying, there's no way they're just dead statues or whatever they are.
As Stone Skull takes a step forward,
Yeah.
you see all the creatures, including the goats and these cyclops, spring to life and begin moving in time again. You see the sheep grazings and these two cyclops chatting idly with each other. As Stone Skull steps forward on the back of his bear friend, you see the cyclops turning their two total eyes towards him. You see them looking back at each other, and they seem to be speaking to one another, but too far for you to hear them. Then you see them holding up their hands, and as they do so, they open up one hand flat, kind of parallel to the ground, and the other one held up in a fist. And they slam their fist into their unstretched hand 3 times, and then you see one holding his fingers out in 2 directions, kind of a V angle, and the other one slaps his hand flat down onto his other palm. You see the one that held out his fingers in a V kind of look up and have a bit of a triumphant grin on his face as he looks at the other one that looks a bit discouraged and kind of lumbers up to his feet from his sitting position. As he does so, he glances back at the rest of you and he begins to walk forward.
Is he menacing?
Not moving quickly, he's just lumbering forward as he does so. He's not really
Did they just play
paying
rock,
attention
paper,
to you.
scissors?
Yes, they did.
Single-handedly.
Literally played rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, listening.
Mhm.
Motherfucker.
Yep.
Never
No,
had
you
to
go
describe
talk
that
to them.
before.
You go
As
talk
he moves
to them.
forward, looking up towards Stone Skull and kind of tilting his head to the rest of you, he leans down and you see there's a large kind of boulder, about 2 feet wide, but looks pretty heavy. He picks it up in one hand, kind of bouncing in his hand for a few moments. He then sets the boulder down by his side as he lowers his arm down, still gripping the boulder, and begins to walk towards you all. Not raising the boulder threatening, but moving towards you with it. As he gets up in front of you, Stone Skull, you see him looking his eye down to you, and he raises up his free hand and kind of makes a shooing motion for you to back up.
Okay.
As you do so, he continues following you, shooing you back behind the pond. As you get back there, he stops, and as he does so, he goes to do some measurements real quick. Hands up. I'll just move y'all out of the way of where he wants you. Or over there. He moves up here. As he turns around, looking back at you, as he picks up this small boulder, he gestures towards you all, kind of holding the boulder out. And then he turns around and hurls the boulder down to the other end towards the other Cyclops. You see it fly 100 feet at least through the air, land, and as it lands, it crunches against the ground and then rolls another 20 feet before coming to a stop.
Okay, where did he throw it
It's
to?
about there.
Okay.
Say it's 120 feet away. The measurement won't make sense, but it's about 120 feet away. Then with that, you see the Cyclops next to you, as well as the one down, still sitting on his haunches, looking up towards you. They both look at all of you in the party a bit expectantly.
I look at the I look at the Cyclops and going to attempt speaking in giant, say, are you challenging me to throw this boulder?
As you speak in giant, you see his eye flitter a bit, and he looks down. And with that, he looks down at the rock across the field and looks back at you. Says, "Yes, your boulder must fly further than mine." With that, you see him lean down to the ground, grabbing another large or small boulder, I suppose, and sets it down on the ground next to you all.
Okay. 1 second. I need to look something up. Come on, stupid thing.
I'm going to give you a point of inspiration.
Okay.
I will say, as you're looking at this boulder, it's a good 2 feet in diameter, probably weighing at least 500 pounds.
Yo, drink
Okay.
that potion we just got.
That's what I was just doing. I was reading to see how that would affect me. Okay. I am going to reach into my pouch and drink the potion of the, what is that, enlarge, reduce, or growth, or whatever it was. Potion of growth. Has advantage on strength checks and saving throws. Okay. Okay.
All right. So you see Stone Skull downing this potion, and he starts growing. You see his muscles ripping, his clothing, his cloak barely able to contain itself around him, but he's still decent as he grows to this new size, much larger than he was before.
And I'm going to motion the ogre forward. And then take the spot where he's standing.
Yeah, you shoo him the same
Like,
manner.
Yeah,
Give
like
him a little step back.
back up. It's
And
fine.
you see him respectfully nodding to you and stands off to the side.
Okay, I'm going to grab the boulder, and I'm gonna hurl it.
What's like the
It's
DC?
heavy. It's like 2 feet long. You have to pick it up even with your large form with 2 hands. Weighs about 500 pounds. It's heavy even in this form.
You know that's I can lift and throw 800 normal.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Still heavy, though.
I mean,
like,
yeah, but
You can bench 150, like 75 pounds still isn't light to you anymore.
It's funny that we just enlarged someone with powerful build.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're throwing it,
Imagine when he
then?
gets this, that we all throw like a high-pitched scream, like,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna throw it.
All right. Go ahead and give me an athletics check with advantage.
Athletics with advantage. Got it. And just for good measure,
Or inspired.
yeah, 30.
30? Okay.
Let's
we talked about
go.
the fact that you rolled 2 19s.
Right?
Yep. So as Stone Skull lifts
Let's
up this
go.
boulder, you see him still kind of mildly struggling with it, not nearly as much as he would be if he was much smaller than he is now. But that he hefts it, you see it kind of bouncing in his hands, he nods, and as he kind of takes a step back, grinding his heel against the ground, he takes a step forward, and as he does so, just kind of shot puts this rock straight through the air. It soars much further than you think that this could possibly do. You see it flying, and as it hits down next to this other boulder, it flies through the hedge and disappears.
oh, it's all in the heads, baby. And giant, I'm gonna say that giant, so you can hear
This
it.
isn't like volleyball rules, right? Like,
Like,
we're good.
yeah, like
As-
saying that in giant, like that still counts, right?
With that, you see the Cyclops looking down, and he turns back, and he... y'all know that meme with the kid who holds up a thumbs up and nods in a satisfied way?
Yeah.
That's what he does. He nods, kind of a mild grin on his face as he looks back, thumbs up towards you. And then you see him walking back across the field. As he gets back next to this other Cyclops, you see them sitting back down on their haunches. As they sit back down on their haunches, you see the goats have kind of grazed and moved just a bit around. And then you see everything freeze. As everything stops in time again. Then you all hear a loud splitting sound, and your eyes are drawn straight down to the boulder that was thrown by the Cyclops. You see it cracking in half, and as it does so, you see sitting inside of it, still embedded partially into the rock, is what appears to be a topaz gemstone.
Ooh.
Well.
So is it me, or is there some kind of pattern with gems here?
Gems, yeah.
Well, there's definitely something to do with it. Maybe. I don't know. Let's continue on and see if we get back to that sundial.
Bear Friend is just gonna be like, what the fuck just happened?
Let's keep all those stones together. Stone Skull, you mind keeping the garnet with Ignalia?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make my way this way towards the gym.
Okay. Yeah, you see the world is frozen around you once again. But otherwise, you see nothing else happening.
Is everybody else staying behind? Guess so.
Everybody else too, I'm just chilling.
Okay. Okay. Stone Skull's going to reach down and pick up the gem. He now has
You're able
two
to
of
pry
them.
it loose. It's loose from the rock and now has a topaz gemstone in your possession.
We take those. Okay. Puts them into his pouch and continues on.
You see a small hole in the hedge. You see another path leading off away from you.
Stone Skull will head towards that.
Me too.
All right. Everybody following out of this area?
Yep.
Yep.
That's what it sounds like.
As once again you set back into the pathway, you find yourself moving around this now familiar turns and twists and such of this place. You see the bends and such going before you. 1d4. Okay.
Tell us how you really feel, Havoc.
There we go. Okay, that'll be that. Indicative of that. Gotta move all your tokens, and there's some large ones in the mix here, so I'm just gonna pile you all on top of each other. You find yourself moving through the twists and turns here, and you see an opening up ahead of you as it begins to kind of straighten out a bit. And you find yourself walking into a now familiar place with 8 paths converging on a sundial. Once again, as you approach, you see the sundial is casting 4 shadows. You see that it's almost casting what appears to be an X across this sundial. But as you're paying attention to it, you see... Oh, I brought the rock with you. Oops.
I was going to say, did you break the boulder? Smash the sundial with it.
You see the shadows begin to rotate and spin. You see them beginning to shrink down towards the middle of the sundial, and then they all wink out once again, leaving no shadow.
Okay, so we chose wrong.
Yep. The sundial looks exactly the same as the previous ones have. Like, there's nothing marking on it. Nothing?
Make an investigation check.
Okay. This'll go well.
Watch 20.
No.
Or
God, no.
He is human.
You wanna
Stone
go
Skull
just
doesn't
north?
notice it. Everyone else, as you're looking around at the sundial, seeing the shadows coalesce and shrinking and spinning, this X formed on them, shrinking down into the sundial and then vanishing. Ignalia, you're the first to notice that you had flung a firebolt and left some black soot on the side of the sundial. This sundial has no marking on it, no black soot.
Huh?
Yay.
Hold on. You piece of shit.
Alright, let's
I
start
wanna-
marking these then.
I want to go up to it and just inspect it again.
Okay. Once again, as you're checking over, it seems to be the same as it was before, minus it doesn't have the mar to it that you put onto it. If this is in fact the same sundial, at least, you're not sure. But you see, as you look up around you, looking at the sundial, and then look around your surroundings, you don't see the tower. You see the sundial before you, standing 10 feet wide, 10 feet long in diameter and such, about 5 feet off the ground. Doesn't look any different, though.
So it just
Has the,
reset, basically.
Has the orientation of the sundial changed at all? When we come up on it, is it always facing the same way?
Seems to be.
Can I try to
It
turn?
seems to be. Could I be confused about this in some way?
It's real hard to remember, unfortunately.
Okay,
Can I try
I'll
to
go.
turn the sundial?
I mean, you can try if you want to, yeah.
Yeah, why not? Get on it and just push it.
Alright. As you do so, even without making a check, you can tell that this thing is solid. You don't know if it's built into the ground or if it's just a sheer weight, but it doesn't even wobble when you try to push against it.
I'm going
Kinda
to
just glare at it.
I'm gonna take one of my hand axes out and drive the blade of it into the ground with the like shaft of it facing like north to south on the south side of it, like where we all are, basically pointing the direction we came from and marking it, and kind of like kick it down into the ground so it's
That's what happened.
nice and sturdy in there.
Okay.
I say we go back to the way this started and just head north, head forward.
So something like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. What do y'all want to do?
Let's just reset. Or try to. We've collected a couple of these stones, but we're not any closer to solving this puzzle. Anybody? I'm not hearing any nays.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what direction haven't we gone? You want to try something else? You want to try something that we've done or something we haven't?
I feel like choosing direction's not the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go a different direction. We haven't gone this way, right?
Do we have
We're
another
this way.
This way or
We're this
And
way.
Ignalia tried pushing the dial, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Didn't move.
And it didn't move.
You want to go where Bear Friend's at? Let's go that way.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here.
Yeah, I'm saying let's just process elimination. We
Yeah.
gotta keep throwing stuff at a wall until we get some sort of information on a pattern or something.
Havoc, can you describe the sundial again?
Sure. It's golden coloration. It's standing in the center of this intersection. Once again, about 10 feet in diameter, 5 feet off the ground. You did notice this time there were 4 shadows across it before they spun in a circle and then disappeared towards the center of the sundial. It didn't make sense once again because the sun obviously doesn't cast shadow that way.
Oh, okay.
What? Yeah, and not
so
just like
sorry,
they-
I was gonna say. So it's 5 feet up, right? I want to try to push the actual sundial, not like just the thing it's on. Right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
It
just making sure I
also,
was clear.
yeah, it also, along with the pedestal, the sundial itself does not move.
Alright, so I'm just like 5 feet up and nothing's different.
Are you?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Are you like standing up against it? Or are you climbing up and trying to twist it? What are you trying to do here?
Well, I'm assuming I have to get on top of it if I want to try to move it. It's like 5 feet up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was kind of thinking you were leaning over the edge of it, but I forget you're not stone skull tall.
not stone skull tall.
Yeah, right. All right. So in that case, you all see Ignalia as she climbs on top of the sundial and begins stretching against it, trying to turn it. You see her blink, and her head shoots down as she looks down at her feet. You see her greaved feet beginning to sink into the sundial, and within 3 seconds, she vanishes as she sinks completely into it.
Bye, Ignalia.
I die cursing them. Is that it for me? Am I dead?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look to Max.
I'm in the dark void. It's awful here.
I mean, we should all stick together. We shouldn't separate under any circumstances.
Okay. Stone Skull will walk towards a podium and then spend probably 15 minutes trying to convince the bear that it needs to do so as well. Because I envision it's going to take a bit to get it to want to climb up there.
All right. What's everybody else doing?
The following.
Everybody following? Rogar, Tara.
Yes, I didn't see what happened, so I heard say Max did say he's following, so I'm following Max.
So Ignalius stepped onto the podium where the sundial is and then disappeared.
Well, that doesn't seem okay.
Step foot on the podium.
But yeah, so we're,
The last thing I screamed was, Tara, the stone's eating me.
I hope it.
All right.
Like that.
For the sake of brevity, you all make your way on top of this sundial, standing on top of it, as it seemed that X marked the spot, and one after another, you find yourself sinking into the sundial, and one after another, you find yourself falling, but not far. You find yourselves falling for a few moments and then landing somewhat softly and harmlessly on the ground. As you land on the ground, you see Ignalia standing there up next to a sundial. And you find yourself in the same area that you were before. However, something has changed. The sundial has shadows again.
Of course it does.
Shadows are a bit confusing, though. As you look at them, you see the shadows are pointing in every direction.
Oh, fuck these.
Of course it does.
Okay. So no shadows meant no direction, and these shadows mean all directions? What's the logical basis there? Like, what do we do?
You want to hop on the sundial again?
No, wait. Do we,
feel
where,
like
do we
it
see the
wouldn't do
tower?
that, but yeah.
You, as you're all looking around, you see the tower. You see Stone Skull looking off to the east, Ignalia looking to the northwest, Rogar and Maximilian looking to the southwest. All of you see the tower in your respective directions. As you turn around, you see the tower now behind you. You look around again, and it seems every direction you look, it's that the tower is sitting there. And it's close. The tower is much closer than it was before. It doesn't seem to occupy two places at once, but every time you focus your vision in one of these 8 directions, the tower seems to be sitting there. Everybody make perception checks, except for Tara.
I'm gonna imagine I'm filling her in.
Christ. No mas.
Right,
I'm
for
rolling 20s.
Everybody but Stone Skull. Stone Skull not quite picking up on it, but everyone else. You notice that the towers, while they are, whenever you're focusing on them in the direction that you're looking, as long as it's one of these 8 directions leading out the path, you see the tower seems to be just off center, almost as if it's leaning or shifted a bit to be just in between 2 of the pathways.
So, like, through the hedge? Is that what you mean?
I mean, it's like, it's in between the 2 pathways, so, like, aligned with the hedge, I guess.
Like the tower? So, like, at the corners? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, when you're looking off Stone Skull in this direction... Oh, you can't see my click. When you're looking off in this direction, you see the tower, like, over here.
Oh, okay.
It looms above you.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Sarah, maybe I actually get to burn through the bush.
Yes!
Damn it.
Stone Skull raises his hand.
Yes,
You all see a very large Stone Skull with a very large hand raised up in the air.
We're following the tower.
Let's follow the tower then.
Which tower?
So here's... So in my train of thought, the one with the X, we couldn't see a tower. The one that went north, we went north, and that's where the tower was. When we went to the northeast, that's where the tower was. I'm just trying to follow that pattern of we're still following the tower. I don't think it is going to matter. It just you follow that tower. Like wherever you see the tower, that's where you go.
Okay.
So where do I go?
Stone Skull will carry you. So, if I'm seeing it here, is that what you said? Then Stone Skull will kind of motion for the bear, turn around, grab Tara, kind of put her up on his shoulder, and is just going to forcefully march his way through the hedge.
Okay. What's everybody else do?
Yeah, just follow.
Okay. Maximilian, Rogar, Tara. Oh wait, Tara's being carried.
Be carried. Mr. Pebbles is following along.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maximilian?
I'm just stand. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm not you. Yeah, I'm gonna follow behind.
Also following along.
Big giant
Alright.
stone skull.
So you see gigantic Stone Skull just stomps through this hedge, ripping it apart with his just mass. As he does so, you see the hedges surrounding all of you. You can't really see even Stone Skull. They're kind of lapping against his eyes and such, even with his enlarged size. But after a few moments, you find yourself moving out, and you find yourself in an opening. And as you look around, you find yourself standing next to the tower.
Yeah!
As you're standing there looking around, you all break out as after going through the hedges, seeing all of the directions being pointed out, it seemed that no direction was correct, and instead between them was the correct way to go. You find yourself moving out, looking up at this tower. You see it rising up several...
Got it.
It's pretty large. I don't know exactly, 100 plus feet. You're looking up at the top of it. You see what appears to be a large balcony kind of outstretched over the edge of the tower. As you're looking around, you see no entrance, just a smooth, exterior around the tower at your level. You notice movement, however, high up on the tower.
Okay.
As you look up to glance at this, as you can see, a human male dressed in black robes stands on the balcony, waving something over his head. It's hard to make out the details from this distance, but it might be a blue mask.
How far away is he?
At least 100 feet up in the air. He's way above you at the top of this tower. As you see him waving what appears to be, might be a blue mask in the air, you hear him scream before you do anything. This is all happening in a matter of seconds.
All right.
You hear him screaming
Going.
out. He says, "Heroes! They saw you in the village. I've taken the mask, but they'll realize it missing within minutes. Look for me beneath the tower in a few moments, for it's the only place I have a chance to hide. This is the key that will let you teleport into the dungeon." As he speaks, the figure holds aloft a second item, some sort of white, glimmering hourglass. With that, he throws it out before him, and it starts sailing down towards you all. With that, he says, "Grab it so no one else can use it." And as he's saying that, you see him stopping and turning around. The speaker looks over his shoulder as another figure suddenly dashes out onto the balcony. A flash of blades and what looks like spellfire erupts around them. Then the figure who spoke pitches his attacker over the railing before dashing back inside. A few moments pass as this figure falls from the balcony and with a loud crunch lands next to you all. You see what appears to be a member of the cult wearing regalia, his throat slashed open, and also his body crushed from the fall.
Ooh.
Maximilian, you immediately cast Dimension Door, trying to zoom up, straight up into the air towards this. As you get close to the balcony, though, the spell fails, and you find yourself running straight into a wall of force surrounding this balcony, and you bounce back off of it.
Ouch.
Like rebuffed, I'll dive back down, on wing to the ground to try and scoop up what he threw.
You zoom back down, the rest of them looking around at the body. A couple of you are able to easily see, and Tara feels what appears to be a small hourglass sitting on the ground before you. And as you look at this hourglass, handout here. Sorry, give me 1 second. I didn't expect y'all to get this far. I thought y'all would spend way longer inside the maze.
Yeah, we did pretty
Giant
good.
step.
Y'all did
Giant
pretty
steps
good.
going
Yeah.
with his way through it.
I had like 4 more encounters planned just in case. So.
Ooh.
Oh, we got a couple free gems.
For how this works. One second. Where the hell?
Good job, my bunch of idiots. Look at us.
Yeah.
If I wasn't rolling good insight rolls, I couldn't really provide any help. So
Your insight rolls have been
They're
fantastic all night.
fucking
you must have
insane
been born in a
tonight.
maze.
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So as you're looking at the small hourglass, you see that it has sand that seems to be perpetually falling, regardless of how long you kind of stare at it. Even as you tip it over, it seems to just reverse the flow of this limitless sand that's flowing through it. As you look at it a bit closer, you see a symbol on both tops, or the top and bottom, I suppose, of this. You see what appears to be a sundial etched into the hourglass itself.
It was an illusion. We're still at the sun.
Oh no.
No.
Don't say that.
Well, we need to get that mask. It seems like they know the jig is up. Maybe it's not a trap after all.
What do you want to do?
Move. I mean, that picture's accurate, right? There's a set of stairs.
You do see a set of stairs, yeah.
Yeah, start trying to make the way up the set of stairs.
Okay. You walk
Key to
up
the
the set of
dungeon, I don't know where
stairs,
that's at.
and you see once again the base of this tower, and all the way up, except for that balcony and window up high in the air, you see no entrance. You walk up the stairs, there's nothing there. You walk around the base of it all the way around, there's no door. There's no entrance into this tower.
But they threw down, what'd you say, a key?
It's an hourglass. Turn the hourglass upside down. Turn it over. If all the sand settled to one side.
Oh, okay. Flip it over.
Even as you do so, flipping it back and forth, you hold it there and wait a few minutes. The hourglass never seems to deplete from the top. And as you flip it over, it seems the other side fills up, and then it never seems to deplete any. You still see what appears to be a sundial etched into both ends of it.
I'm not going back in that maze.
Make one or two of y'all make perception checks. Maximilian and Stone Skull and Rogar, all three of you, as you're looking around, looking back at the maze, it's hard to tell exactly where it was you entered from, but you see at the bottom of the stairs that you're standing at, you see an open path leading back into the maze. And you can clearly see a straight path leading to what appears to be a glimmering sundial ahead of you.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
We can't just leave him. Like, we can't step away from this mask knowing it's right here. I mean, there has to be a way in. That is a pickle.
If we look back at the sundial, do we see the shadows?
You don't see shadows, but you see what appears to be a glimmering. It's brighter than it was before.
Of course it is.
What do you think, guys?
I
agree with Steve.
What'd Steve say?
Or Steve, that is.
What's that?
What?
The dog whimpering in the background.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I don't know. I don't want to go back into the maze either, but I can't. I have no idea what else to do.
Yeah, I don't either. At this point,
I mean, the only thing I know to do is collect more stones.
Maybe I'm reading. Wait, give me 1 second, because I think I might be reading something wrong, or something's omitted because this isn't messing up with my note or matching up with my notes. I don't understand why. Okay. That's missing. Alright, I apologize. Okay, so let's go back a bit.
okay.
Alright, so the hourglass... they fucked up this pretty badly. Alright, the hourglass, you were able to see it in this man's hand. He did not throw it down towards you. As he turned around, the man falling from the area, or the other one, the attacker, falling from the balcony, he landed on the ground before you with a heavy crash. As you're looking down towards his body, you see his body is sitting on something. And as you look around, you see something similar. This is why this now makes sense to me. You see something you saw just recently, just this morning. What appears to be a teleportation circle is etched into the ground on the ground out here, outside this tower.
Okay.
Oh.
That's entirely different.
Hey, that's what's supposed to happen.
That's entirely different. I was like, I'm so confused. I don't want to go back into the maze.
As you turn around and look at the maze, what you're supposed to see, and what was supposed to be there, I was ad-libbing that because I didn't see what I saw before, because it's, I guess, either in between these handouts or something. I don't know what they did on Roll20. You see the path into the maze is leading back towards the sundial, but beyond the sundial, you see a straight path going beyond it, leading out to a familiar-looking fence that you remember was on the village side of this maze.
Oh, so we spun the tumbler, so that's our way out.
So yeah, it's like a straight shot all the way out from here.
Feel that you have solved the vase around this tower.
Yeah. Okay, so teleportation circle. I guess we go to the teleportation circle and try to catch up with this guy.
As you're all standing on this teleportation circle, everybody give me investigation checks. This.
Okay. This will go well.
Maximilian and Ignalia, as you're looking at this circle, you see something odd. As you're walking around it, you see it completes the circle of glyphs and such, and there's other glyphs inside of it. But sitting up at an odd angle, and as you kind of turn around, you see the angle is actually not too odd. It's directly in between the tower and the circle itself. You see a bunch of symbols kind of lined up in rows. You see a chair, an upside-down L, a rectangle, a flame, a star, a square, an hourglass, and a right triangle.
So, homeboy threw us a key. He said
He did not.
was-
That didn't happen. That was wrong.
Didn't happen.
There is no hourglass that you have in your possession. There is an hourglass symbol on the ground, though.
Okay.
And
so,
he had an hourglass in his hand that we could see from a distance.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and a mask. There's no mask. He said, "What? The dungeon?" I heard dungeon.
Yep.
Because my ears perked up. So I'm associating hourglass and dungeon. Whatever this is a map.
I'm just associating the hourglass in his hand to the hourglass etching as being the... It seems like everything here revolves around time in some fashion, so I'm all for...
You said they're etched in stone on the ground?
It's
Yes.
it's a teleportation circle. So
The symbols are all above the teleportation circle, like outside of it.
okay.
I want to go and like step on it.
On the circle?
The stone, the hourglass stone.
Okay. As you step on it, it's kind of small, barely big enough for you to place a hand onto. But you step on top of it, disappearing beneath your foot. You all hear the hum of magic coming from the circle that you're standing around. And then it fizzles out.
So I don't know how else to activate a teleportation circle.
I mean,
Do we have to like
stepping onto it.
It's a thing?
Can I press it? I mean, dude, I'm gonna press it again. I'm not gonna step on it like press. I don't know, like a button.
Pressing the hourglass again?
The hourglass symbol. Yeah.
Is he still up there?
No, they vanished back inside. Or the man that was holding the mask vanished
Yeah.
back inside
Okay.
after he killed the other guy. As you hold your hand against the hourglass, you still hear this, once again, this humming of magical energy coming from this teleportation circle. But after a few moments, once again, the magic just dies down and fizzles out.
Rectangle, tap flames. What happens if I do Kid at a piano and just put my hands across it and like wipe across everything?
After the first cut, you hear magic kind of rising in a hum as you slap across the first symbol, and then it dies down, rises again, then dies down, over and over again until you finally let your hand sit on which symbol?
The square.
The magic finally, as your hand comes to rest on the square, begins to hum up, and then you see a bright light emanating from the teleportation circle that lasts for a moment and then dissipates.
Are you standing on the circle?
No, not until I try and turn it on. So the square. Everybody pile on.
Yeah,
right,
Stone
get
Skull's
him on.
gonna just walk up and again try to convince the bear to follow him.
Okay. All of y'all piling onto the teleportation circle, and you said you're pressing square.
Yes, that's the one that lit up. That's the one we're hitting.
Okay.
Well, that lit up because that's where you said you stopped.
Yeah. That was the one you. I mean,
Yeah.
you stopped on.
You stopped
It seemed
on
like
that.
everything you touched caused a magical
Was
reaction.
lighting up.
But you're not sure exactly what those magical reactions are because you
But
just
I
kept
have-
flipping through them.
I have a feeling that. Gonna do it again. Motherfucker.
Jesus Christ. Did you
Nailing
roll
it.
below an 18, please?
Right? I have a feeling, knowing what little I know of teleportation circles, we have to be standing on it and then activate it. So, and I'm sticking by my, I still think it's the hourglass because
Okay.
he
Go
was,
to the hourglass again.
yeah, mentioning to go to the dungeon. Yeah, I'm just connecting the dots here. So,
Yeah, let's try it again.
so
All right,
everybody
so-
on it and then touching the hourglass one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So everybody hops onto the teleportation circle, gathering up, and then Maximilian nods and reaches his hand out, able to easily touch this hourglass. And as he does so, you all feel now the hum of magical energy
Oh, boy.
beneath your feet, and then it fizzles out.
Ah! I tried.
I'm gonna try the same thing again. Stay put.
Okay.
Same thing I did last
So-
time. It made some noise. Finish it on the square.
All right, so going through all the different ones, just slapping your hand across it, this voom, 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 over and over again of magical energy building, then subsiding, and then building once again. And as your hand stops on the square, you hear it rising and such, and you pull your hand back within the circle. Bright light flashes all around you. And... square, okay.
Where are we going? Are we dead, Havoc?
Bright light flashes all around you. You see
I don't
a
wanna be
chamber
dead.
around you as it clears.
Oh. A chamber? Where?
You see this circular chamber around you, and you see that it appears to be empty. But you see that it might have been luxurious, but it's definitely been subjected to the ravages of time. A table assembled from planks lays across barrels is covered in notes and scrolls. As you turn around, you see another teleportation circle at your feet, and as you turn around to scan the room directly behind you, you see the same symbols minus the square in this room on the wall back behind this teleportation circle.
Okay, so the square led us here. I'm gonna open my notepad. If we gather back on it and now try the hourglass, what happens?
Much the same, hums with electrical energy or magical energy, and then fizzles out at the last second.
Okay. So that's not working. Going back over. Let's go. Let's just try something else. I mean, trial and error at this point. We can search the room if you want, but we're looking for that guy specifically. So at this point,
Yeah, let's toss the room.
Yeah, let's do that, and I'm sure this will be As I expected.
Y'all investigating the room then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. As you all look around this room, clearly feeling like you're within the tower, you see a bed and a few tables and such around the area, laid across the barrels and such. These planks laid across planks laid across barrels to make a table. You see notes and scrolls on them. As you begin to investigate them, you're able to see that all of these seem to be kind of research notes. You see they're all pertaining to Draco Liches, and seem to mention actually nothing of the current activities of the cult, but definitely seem to be cult-related activities.
All right. So, figure out a way to get out of here.
You said Draco Liches, and the metagamer in me just died inside.
Yeah, I mean, we can try one of the other symbols. I don't know why the hourglass one isn't working, but it's not taking us anywhere. Like, at all. I don't know. So, let's try. Anything. Anywhere. Which one?
Let's try the chair.
Yeah, let's try the chair then.
Okay. All right. So as you all pile onto each other again, this will be a running theme, just so y'all know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just stay stacked up from now on. Unless we have to spread out.
Yeah.
Unless we have to.
All right, so as you turn around to this back wall, pressing your hand against the chair, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The energy begins to hum around you as this teleportation circle activates and rises in pitch, and then, instead of fizzling out, white light surrounds you and you feel yourself being torn through space and time as you appear in another chamber. The walls of this chamber bear exotic geometric designs representing feathers, eagles, and snakes, all rendered in a style you've never seen before. To one side of the room, a human female is sprawled face down in a pool of blood. She is dressed like a high-ranking member of the Cult of the Dragon.
Oh boy. I want to move over to the body and I basically just want to rifle through her pockets. I'm looking for anything. Any info?
Which one was this? This is the chair.
Mm-hmm.
So you notice a couple things looking around just passively. You glance back at the wall behind you and see the symbols once again. You see a bit different, though. You see all the same ones you saw before. The square is back now. So you see a right triangle, hourglass, square, star, flame, rectangle, upside down L, but however, now you see two chairs instead of just one. As you go to the body, you just searching it for stuff?
Well, what killed it, and then what killed her, and then, yeah.
Okay.
Anything else you might have?
Make a medicine check.
I get advantage on these. Rolls it on that? I wanted to click it twice.
As you're looking across this, you can tell that this cultist was killed by a dagger. And as you're looking at the wound, and then down at a dagger that she has on herself, you can tell that they're very similar, though hers doesn't have any blood on it. This dagger seems to be made from the tooth of a dragon. And you've seen them before on some cultists. You tell that she was probably stabbed by one of these.
Toss it back to Stone Skull. For the collection.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pick the... Is there anything of note on her person?
You find 17 gold pieces. That's about it, though.
Peanuts.
As you're looking up around you, you do see off to your left and right, flanking up above the teleportation circle, or what appear to be 2 balconies about 8 feet above the floor.
Oh yeah, vaulting up on top of that thing.
How high up?
8 feet.
Big Stone Skull.
Stone Skull stands on his tippy toes and looks into the balcony.
As you do so, I imagine Maximilian flying up there. You look up and you see these 2 balconies leading out to the outside. As you move out, Maximilian, you notice something odd. Stone Skull, you notice looking over that there are 2 teleportation circles, one on each of the balconies.
Oh.
Maximilian, as you're floating up and kind of landing up in the balconies, you notice that you don't hear or feel any wind against your face, even though you can see outside looking over this maze. But you don't feel any air against your face. You don't hear anything. You don't smell
my face
outside.
Still sting from hitting the wall on the way up it. I know there's something out there. Shit hurt.
All right, and as you all
mid-dimension door.
It hurts real good. As you all stand there looking around this other empty chamber that you found, what appears to be kind of a audience chamber, with a dead member of the cult within it, seemingly stabbed by a weapon of the cult, for that matter. You see and hear from Stone Skull and Maximilian that the balconies seem to be another destination of these teleportation circles, but you're found with more options, more symbols that you have not touched for this maze of teleportation circles here within the tower after making your way through Xonthal's hedge maze, rather. I keep saying
that's what you say, druid.
Right? I just need to put that in there right now. I'm gonna go stat out a hedge
Xonthal's
mage.
druid.
But yeah, you find yourself here within the tower itself, chasing after this Iskander, who seems to have kind of greeted you as you approach the tower, but not being able to really tell whether or not he's still friend or foe, and not knowing where he is. But that is where we're going to go ahead and end the session for the evening.
Okay.
Clusterfuck, I decided to give you a
Have fun with the recap.
Yeah, that's going to be a... Y'all went through the maze. It was crazy.
You didn't get lost. Now you're inside. Go.
I was so excited for the maze. Like, the maze had so many fun things that could happen.
Yeah. Did we... I mean...
Y'all did the... You missed one that I really wanted you to do. I was hoping you got one more try, but y'all did it, so... The other ones were kind of... They were okay. They weren't terrible, but my 2 favorites were the... There was one in there that I'll tell you all about after you're done with this, but
okay.
The other one was the Cyclops, which I thought was hilarious.
Right.
All right.
You throw rock. You throw rock.
Yeah, that was like, as soon as he said that, I was like, all right, hold on. What are the chances that this thing speaks giant? Cool, it speaks giant. Awesome. Are you challenging me, motherfucker? Okay, cool, let's go.
Hey, your description of rock, paper, scissors was awesome.
I loved it.
I was like, what are they doing? I was like, they beat their fists together, V shape. Another one's like, wow, stop it.
I was like, I get to describe this, and I'm like, how the hell do I describe this?
All right, I'm gonna end stream and I'll be back.
All right, bye, stream.